some cheering now. Here comes the Bulldogs. Coming in through the west end zone there. You can hear the crowd cheering. They're in the west end zone. Looks like they are getting ready for the national anthem. There we go.
Welcome to Archer Field for tonight's non-district game of kick.
And a nice job by the Mediapolis High School band. They play our national anthem.
Welcome to Archer Field for tonight's non-district conference game against Keokuk. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The athletic department and administration of Mediapolis High School invites you to enjoy the efforts of the student athletes, cheering squads, and marching band this evening. We welcome the players, the cheerleaders, and fans of the Keokuk Chiefs. Now let's go with our starting lineup.
We'll be announcing the starting lineup for both teams here. We'll try to follow up the best we can, just in case you're unable to pick it up over the Dogcast microphone.
Left tackle, Brian Hawkins. Left guard, Corby Johnson. Center, Trenton Humphrey. Right guard, Alex Goss. Right tackle, Wesley Bradley. Quarterback, Gabe Vandenberg. Tailback, Trevor Roth. Fullback, Matt Nye and Alex Meek. Tight end, Dan Williams. Wide receiver, Darren Sanders. Bryce Baxter, Greg Reeder.
Well, there you heard it. You heard Gabe Vandenberg be the starting quarterback for the Keokuk Chiefs. And, of course, Vandenberg, a household name here in the state of Iowa.
For Mediapolis.
Now for the starting lineup for the Mediapolis Bulldogs. Jordan Wagenbach. Number 15, Dalton Scott will be playing tailback. Seth Beats be at wide receiver. Chase Miller, wide receiver. Drew Buster also be playing tail. Beckman be on the offensive line. Mike Ruby, O-lineman. Forrest Stellern, big offensive lineman. Ethan Lamb will be starting it.
Connor Smith.
Quarterback, Jesse Ertz. So a nice lineup there for the Bulldogs. They've got...
And the rest of the Mediapolis Bulldogs, head coach Brian Moore.
And here they come. Through the banner they are, and there are your Bulldogs. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this crowd.
Well, they're sure not going to have any problem getting fired up tonight, Lee. They've got the crowd behind them, and there's just excitement in the air.
I tell you what, I haven't felt this good since the last time I played on this field, so I'm really looking forward to tonight. I tell you what, after the national anthem, there is no better feeling than taking that field, getting ready to go like they are right now. The feeling that you have, you can't wait to get out there and do battle. It is all you've been spending your time doing for the last month or so. It's all you want to do. It is time to go play football.
I think Coach Borison's putting in a few final words there. You got the captains about ready to take center field. You got center stage there. You've got Jesse Ertz, number 16, Dalton Scott, number 21, one of the captains, Jordan Wagenbach, a senior wideout, one of the captains.
Number 15, yes.
Brody Armstrong, number 61, handle some of the linebacking duties here tonight for the Dogs. And on the Keokuk side, you've got Gabe Vandenberg, of course, one of the captains. Dan Williams, number 11, a wideout. You hear his name called quite a bit. Number 5,
Darian Sanders.
Darian Sanders, he's an athlete. Looks like about a 5'8", 5'9", 5'10", kind of a shifty kind of player. And
kind of like Darian Sproles. He kind of reminds me of that kind of player. He's going to be tough to find and tough to tackle.
Speaking of Darian Sproles, didn't he play for the Kansas State Wildcats?
Yes, he did. That's why I brought him up.
That's good, Lee. I think I watched him play a couple times on the wrong end of the stick, watching the Iowa State Cyclones battle Sproles, and he was just flat out good.
Yep, and he's still doing well. So let's see if maybe this guy's got the same kind of magic, and hopefully the Bulldogs have something to counteract him.
Well, I got to believe those two outside linebackers in that 3-5 defense that Mediapolis runs, they're going to have their hands full tonight. I just got a feeling that Keokuk will have a lot of speed on the edges, and on that 3-5 defense, for those of you out there listening to us, Mediapolis will have 3 big down linemen, and then they'll have 5 linebackers. 2 of them will spread out wide to try and shut off the corners. And they do. It's pretty typical defense, I think, for a 2A school to run, because there's a whole lot more guys that are in that real athletic linebacker size, that maybe 180, 190 versus your 225, 230, 240 pound D lineman.
Definitely a little different what we play with the 5-2. We played the 5-2 because it was more of the smash mouth. It was straight ahead, a lot of eye back. Occasionally you had a split back offset. But definitely the game has changed, so I'm sure that this 3-5 is more in the tempo and more of the type of offenses that they're going to see.
Yeah, looks like they did complete the toss already, and we'll wait for the signal from the referee. Mediapolis, I don't know if they won the toss or not, but they have elected to receive, and they'll be going east to west. So for those of you who remember the football field here, they'll be going towards the school building.
Yes, and they'll be defending the east end zone with the scoreboard. That's to start the game. Actually, I'm sorry, they're going to be receiving, so they'll be on offense first. Sorry about that, Bill.
This Bulldog team can just about do it all, Lee. And there's a special teams out there. Back deep to receive will be number 22, Seth Beats, Burner, and number 5, I believe that's Vorwick.
Yes, Ben Vorwick.
Ben Vorwick.
A senior, 5'10", 150 pounds.
Ben's been a real nice contributor this year as a senior, and
The kick for the Chiefs.
they're back at about their own 15-yard line.
For Mediapolis, Ben Bork.
Kicking off for the Keokuk Chiefs is number 18.
Seth Beats.
Who do we got there, Lee? Number 18.
Number 18, sorry. Looks like we've got Michael Ingrata.
I got to believe that he's probably an athlete that'll be manning another position on defense.
He looks like it, a big body kicking off.
And he kicks it high and fairly deep. It'll be fielded by Beats at about his own 20-yard line. He's got a little hole. And he's going to fight ahead to about the 35-yard line. Nice return there by Seth Beats. Just put his head down, went straight north and south, and that's what you like to see in those runners. Nothing fancy. Get it upfield.
Definitely. The line gave him an opportunity to have a hole there, and he brought it up, caught it clean, did a good job.
Well, to start the ball game out, their own 35. You've got Jesse Ertz back in the shotgun. Behind him is number 21, Dalton Scott. You got two wide left, 2 wide right. Kind of that semi-spread offense they like to run today's. There it is. Jesse drops back. He's got a rush right up the middle. He voids it. Now he's going to keep it himself, and he's going to run it head up to about the 39-yard line. Well, they stunted right off the bat there, Lee, and they had some penetration over the left side of the Bulldog offensive line. Jesse, with that control that you talked about earlier, was able to shuck that step aside, shuck that tackle, and he picked up about 3 in what probably should have been a loss.
Excellent control. He shook it right off. He saw it coming. He made up for it.
This time the Bulldogs have one spread left. They'll have one tight end in, two right, wide right. Dalton Scott back in the backfield getting. Oh, the snap goes over his head, and Jesse's going to pick it up. He's actually going to try and make something out of this. And he throws it downfield, and it's caught. Caught by number 27.
Number 27, Drew Buster, makes an excellent catch. Right on the sideline, a busted play. The hike was over Ertz's head. He picked it up and then calmly and cleanly threw it to Buster. A beautiful sideline play.
Well, it just tells you the athleticism. This time the Bulldogs have one Ben Vorwick out wide right, two receivers spread out left, tight end left, and one man in the backfield with Ertz out of the shotgun. This time it's clean snap. It's a run all the way. He's trying to get the left corner, and he's got it. Down to the 40, down to the 30. Makes it.
He's got blockers.
5.
He's got blockers. He's in.
Woo! Touchdown, Jesse Ertz. On the first running play of the game, Jesse Ertz runs over, gets around the left corner, and it was to the house. Nobody was going to catch him, Coach.
That was a quarterback keeper all the way. Excellent blocking all the way down the field. Ertz read his blocks, read it beautiful, and waltzed into the end zone.
Boy, what a luxury to have a young man like that. One of the special guests we were hoping to get into the booth pregame was his dad, Dave Ertz, and I think he was just too excited to show up, Lee. And Mediapolis goes for the extra point, and they get it. Did it go wide right, Coach?
I was not able to see past the camera. I apologize.
Right. You know, they had a lot of problems with that last week. I think they were only able to connect on one or two extra points, and obviously that's a part of the game they've been struggling with. They've been working on it, but nonetheless.
It was a little low. I thought the snap looked like it was okay. So that's something they can work on. It's something definitely, hopefully it doesn't come back to get them. In this type of game, you want every point you can get.
Well, Coach, let's kind of recap that drive just a little bit. You had they stunted, they blitzed up the middle. Jesse Ertz was able to avoid the rush and get a few yards out of it. And then we had a hike over his head, the snap over his head. Calmly runs back and gets it. Nice throw downfield to Drew Buster. Next play, busts it over the left side for a big run. And if you think Jesse Ertz is important in this ball game,
he's definitely a big cog in the wheel. There's no doubt about it. His composure saved 2 plays in that drive, and then the quarterback keep was just all Jesse reading his blocks. Great team effort all the way down.
Now you got Chase Miller is going to be kicking off for the Bulldogs from his own 40. And Coach, this is the part of the game that can so often break down on you. Special teams, you get that 6-0 lead, you want to hold it. And there's the kickoff. Chase hits it high and deep down the left sideline. It's going to take a bounce, and it looks like it's going to take a bad bounce, go out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. And I believe that in high school football, that's going to bring it out to the 35 or the 40. I'm just not real sure. So unfortunate bounce there, but nonetheless, it's time for the defense to strap it on and do it.
They tried to pin him over in the corner, which is not a bad thing to do. Unfortunately, it took a bad bounce and went out of bounds. You want to pin these guys down and keep your guys able to keep them pinned so they can't break out. So just a bad bounce, a bad thing to happen for our Bulldogs.
Keokuk will be starting out on their own 35-yard line after that kick went out of bounds. And just to try and give you an idea, you got Forrest Stellern up front there, Blake Beckman. I think that's a Peck kid over there on the left side. And we get to see Gabe Vandenberg. He's in the shotgun, one man back. He hands off to that big fullback, and he plows ahead for a few yards and gets it out to the 39-yard line for a game of about 4. Brought down by, looks like, number 59.
Roth runs the ball for 4 yards. Tackle made by Chase Miller.
Yeah, Chase Miller in on that tackle. I think, who's number 59?
59, I got Dalton Shadle.
Dalton Shadle, I believe you're right. Dalton Shadle's at the bottom of that tackle. So now we've got second and about 6 from their own 39-yard line. Vandenberg, single back, 1 right, 2 left. Hands off to the big fullback again. He plows ahead to about the 41.
And Blake Beckman was right there. They put him right up on the line and got him right in the middle of that action, stopped it dead right there.
That just shows some athleticism, some determination by Blake Beckman. He's going to be probably outmanned by about 40 pounds up there up front, but still able to grind down under there and get the tackle. And that brings up a real important 3rd and 4th. And if you're the Bulldogs, you want to set the tone after a scoring drive. You'd like to shut them down right here.
You want field position, definitely. So you want to stop them right here. Let's see if they go after him again.
Vandenberg This time he's going to play action. He's going to go around the right side. He's trying to fight himself, and he throws it down to about the 48-yard line of the Bulldogs. They had a guy there all alone. He went down to his knees to catch it, and it just slipped between his hands and hit the ground, and the Bulldogs hold.
I'll tell you what, though, Vandenberg had to get rid of the ball because the defensive end on that side had containment. He was taking care of his area.
Coach, I'm seeing a yellow flag down the field. Let's hope that went against Keokuk, because that was a nice stop by the Bulldogs.
Yes, it was. We're going to have to see. We got holding on the Keokuk. It is declined, so here we go.
4th and 3, and I think you want to watch the fake here with the kind of athletes they got, but they have elected to receive or to kick, and it looked like they're going to punt. The Bulldogs have 2 back in Vorwick and Beats. You want to watch that fake. These dogs, the linebackers playing the dog position, need to watch that corner. But they indeed do get the kick away, and it's a good one. It's going.
They angled it.
Nice job to angle it out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
Kick by Trevor Ross.
That's where the Bulldogs will take over.
What do you think there, Bill? Do you think they were a little scared of the return? Because they definitely angled that. When that punter kicked that thing, he definitely wanted to keep it away from our guys.
Yeah, I think they just didn't want to give us the opportunity to electrify this crowd any more than what they are, and Mediapolis will start out right there at about their own 23-yard line, leading 6-0 with 9:28 left in the first quarter. Mediapolis comes up to the line of scrimmage. You got Jesse Ertz back in the shotgun. He's got a single eye back there in Dalton Scott.
Yep.
1 left, 1 wide left, 2 wide right.
I believe we've got Jordan Wagenbach out here on the right-hand side.
We
do. He's going for him.
The downs, and it's a beautiful catch down to the 49-yard line of Keokuk. Jesse went back. It was single-man coverage out here on Jordan Wagenbach. You could not have put that ball in any better position for Jordan to go up man-to-man. Went high in the air and brought it down at the 49-yard line of Keokuk, and them boys are on the move.
You know what? They're starting to build their confidence right now, and that play right there just kind of set the tone for this drive.
Bulldogs 1st and 10 from the Keokuk 49, 2 left, 1 wide right. Single eye back set. Jesse in the pistol.
We got Caleb Gerst on the right-hand side.
And Jesse elects to keep the ball after everybody was covered, and he's going to run the ball all the way down to about the 15-yard line of the Bulldogs, and that was just all Jesse Ertz. You know, he went back. He was looking for a receiver. He felt a little pressure. He saw lots of daylight in front of him, and he didn't hesitate. He just took off.
You know what? He did what he had to do. He read the blocks perfectly. He did, and he ran. And I'll tell you what, the guy is very cerebral. You got to hand it to him.
So the Bulldogs will be 1st and 10 down on their own, we'll call it the 17-yard line. 2 right, 1 left. They're in that single tight end set. This time they're going to pitch out to Dalton Scott. He's got a lot of room in front. He's got a blocker out there. He takes it. Looks like he's all the way down to about the 2-yard line. As he tried to dive into the end zone, got his feet bumped out from under him. He thought about reaching that football out over the goal line, but at the last second, I think he thought ball security might be just a little bit more important.
Very wisely, he tucked that ball in and just took what he could get. But I got to tell you what, you got to hand it to his 2 wideouts out there that fought for him every inch of the way, blocking till he was down.
They were doing the job. This time, Bulldogs in a 2-back set. 1 left, 1 receiver right. Jesse hands it right up the middle to Dalton Scott, and he's plugging away, and I think they stuffed him right there at about the 3-yard line again for little to no gain.
No, but you know, you gotta run a play like that. You've got to set it up a little bit. Take what they're going to give you. Don't let them start thinking. Just make them react to you. Set your plays up.
You'd like to see those fullbacks run with just a little bit more determination, a little more power,
When you get down here, you want power.
This is where you just will not be denied. Jesse takes the snap. This time pitches out left. Couple nice blocks there. Dalton tries to turn it in, and I think maybe even lost a couple of yards there.
Play didn't quite go as planned. As one of his lead blockers got turned inside, got turned around, and Dalton ran into him. Kind of a broken play, unfortunately, lost some yardage. So now you're really in a bad situation, but I'll tell you what, they're not wasting any time. Here they come.
Here they come, facing 3rd and goal from about the 7-yard line. Single back set. Jesse in the shotgun. You've got 1 receiver left, 2
Drew
right.
Buster out on the right-hand side and Wagenbach on the outside, far right with the slicing.
Beautiful. Woo! Just facing 3rd and goal. You had Jordan Wagenbach just did that little slant pattern over top the middle. He had contact. He was able to concentrate, hang on to the ball, and that's another 6 for the Bulldogs.
Beautiful pass. Ertz stayed right with it. Wagenbach was right there, fought off the contact, and made that pass. He caught it right there.
Well, you know, there was now.
Oh, wow, here we go.
Mediapolis trying to do a little take one in for 2. You know,
they did a side. I can't even remember what they called that.
How about we call that an unbalanced line, Lee?
There you go. Thank you very much.
Mediapolis lined up, for those of you out there, Mediapolis, who's been struggling with the extra points, probably a great play. They lined their entire offensive line clear up over on the right hash mark. They've got Jesse and the center in the middle. They just simply snapped to him, took it up the middle for 2, and
Keokuk was completely didn't know what to do. They did not have any idea what that was all about. So Jesse did a wonderful job. Great calls considering that they have had so much trouble with their extra points
in the special teams game. So Mediapolis leads 14-0 with 7:35 left in the first. And Lee, this is where you don't let up the gas.
You cannot afford to. You have got to pour it on the fire right here. You can't. You got them back on their heels. Send them back at the end of the first quarter. Send them reeling right now.
Chase Miller will be kicking off for the Bulldogs again from his own 40. With a quick 14-0 lead by the Bulldogs with 7:35 left in the first quarter. And this is where you need some great play out of your special teams.
You can't let them get any yards here. You've got to pin them back. You've got to make sure you nail this.
Miller approaches the ball. This time he kicks it high and deep right down the middle. Taken at about the 10-yard line by Keokuk, and they're met by a host of Bulldogs right there at the Chiefs' 24-yard line. There was good coverage right there, Coach.
Listen to that crowd. That was an excellent play. That was beautiful. They defended that all the way. They didn't let them have anything. Now the defense's turn to really pin them back here. Pin their ears back. Let them know we're not letting up. We're not going to let you breathe. We've got our foot on your throat. Let's finish this right here.
Keokuk with 2 right, 1 left. Single back set. Vandenberg rolls out right. He's looking for somebody to hit. Throws it a nice little tight end. There was that throw to that Dan Miller that. Folks, we've got a fumble. You know, let me try to recap that. Dan Miller, Gabe Vandenberg rolled out right. Miller, their star receiver.
Dan Williams ran a beautiful pattern. It was a beautiful play, but he couldn't hang on.
Wide open, caught the ball, turned upfield, fumbled the ball on the play, and I thought he jumped back on it, but the Bulldogs were there, and this is a huge turn of events.
This is huge. Mediapolis can really put a stake in their hearts right here.
So Mediapolis takes over at the Chiefs' own 42-yard line. Ertz back in the shotgun. Looks back, goes deep. They're going for it all, too. Oh, ever so close. Again, they had Jordan Wagenbach isolated one-on-one down at about the at the Chiefs' 20-yard line, and he just couldn't quite hang on. It was there, Coach.
He was getting there. He was getting open, but it just wasn't quite what. Yeah, he just couldn't hang on. But he did have the defender turned around, and that's what you need to do.
The Bulldogs will be facing 2nd and 10 from the Chiefs' 42-yard line. This time they got 2 men in the slot, 2 wide left, 1 left, 1 wide right. Single I-back set.
Chase Miller's out right.
Looks to pass. Oh, that's a hold. That's a hold.
Yeah, and Wagenbach's looking over to the sideline. He's thinking the same thing.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
And yes, the crowd knows it too.
Happy about that. They were trying to run that quick slant over the middle to Jordan Wagenbach, and the defender was burned. He just simply reached out, grabbed Jordan's jersey.
Almost horse collared him.
The only thing I can say is they might have wanted to call that ball uncatchable, but boy.
That's what they're hoping. We're all thinking.
So the Bulldogs will be facing 3rd and 10 on that unfortunate miss from the Chiefs' 42-yard line.
This is what happens when you start burning them with these passes.
1 left. Jesse looking over the field. This time he goes over the middle of Chase Miller. Chase Miller's got the first down all the way down to the 20-yard line.
Way to fight for yards after the catch. That was an excellent job.
You look at Coach Borson after that catch, he said, no huddle, let's go. So the Bulldogs line up again. No huddle offense. They're going to try and just put the pedal to the metal here.
They're going to try to beat them at their own game right here. If they want to hold, they're going to just keep coming at them.
Another Jesse, back to pass. Looks left, right, looks left. Now he's got a hole. He's going to tuck it in, and he's going to get caught from behind at down to about the 13-yard line. So another nice run by Jesse Ertz. He looked right, he looked left, kept his composure, saw a little daylight, and tucked it in and ran.
I didn't catch the number of that blocker, but there was a huge block from the offensive lineman there for him.
The Bulldogs will be facing second and about 3. Pitch out to Dalton Scott. Nothing. Well, he's fighting ahead for maybe about I don't know, maybe got a yard out of that. You know, you just want to see that running game just put the pads down and run a little bit harder.
I'll tell you what, Keokuk's Bryce Baxter put a whack on him, and he spun and still tried to get more yards. So he's definitely trying. But, yeah, you'd like to see a little more solid push from him. Just put your head down and go.
So the Bulldogs will be facing a long one down at about the 12-yard line. Third and well, we'll call it a 1.5.
We got Ben Vorwick over here on the right-hand side.
Just going to hand off the middle. I think it's a little bit of a lost exchange there. Mediapolis is lucky to jump on that as Dalton had a little bit of a.
Yeah, they're starting to have a little hiccup here. Maybe it's time to regroup and get back into the swing of things there.
Bulldogs lost about a yard on that exchange, so they'll be looking at a fourth and about a long 2. Fourth and about 2 at the 12-yard line. And the Bulldogs are going to go for it.
You got to.
You got to go for it.
You got to. This will definitely put a stamp on it. If they can get this first down, it's definitely going to rock Keokuk.
There's a snap to Ertz. He's going to roll out low. He's got a receiver wide open.
Beautiful catch.
He hits Chase Miller. Chase Miller puts it in. He puts it in for the touchdown.
That extra effort of hanging that arm out there, got it over the pylon. What an effort by Chase Miller. That was beautiful. On the way down, he got the touchdown.
Jesse Ertz rolled out left, saw Chase Miller, tight end isolated, put the ball right over his shoulder. Chase caught it. You know, one of the things we talked about last week was Chase was yards after catch. And Chase had this tendency last week to seem to want to go to the ground. Not there, Coach. He put his head down. He reached out over the. He reached out for the goal line and extended the ball across for the touchdown.
Did a beautiful job.
And to make things even better, Elijah Wolf calmly steps up and it hits the extra point. And just that quick, the Bulldogs lead 21-0 with 5:04. And you know, if you're out there and you're listening to this game, you're a sports writer or one of the pollsters, you understand why Mediapolis is ranked number 1.
Definitely, they're not backing down. In fact, Keokuk has not shown anything yet. It's one of those games, but the problem is they've got to keep it up for 3.5 more quarters.
Well, that's for sure. You know, a 21-0 lead against a team like Keokuk with the Gabe Vanderberg and the athletes they got on this field could evaporate pretty quick. But I can't remember who it was, but some statistician did this huge study one time. He said the most important aspect of determining the outcome of the game is turnovers, and Keokuk right now is losing that battle 0-1.
Definitely.
Here's the kick by Chase Miller. This time it goes down to about the 10 where they'll be fielded by the Chiefs right there. He's trying to find some daylight, and nice defense. Nice coverage there by the Bulldogs. They swarm on him at about the 23.
Perfect swarm.
The Chiefs' own 23-yard line.
Beautiful. That's the way you've got to cover a kickoff. Great job by the Bulldogs.
So the defense will take over again. This time they're defending a 21-0 lead with about 4:59 left in the game. And you know the Chiefs are probably going to be going to the air. Last week they threw the ball 34 times, completed 19 of them. So they've got the ability to catch up and hurry with that kind of an aerial attack.
Well, that's what we were talking about. They got to keep their nose to the grindstone and make sure they can't do that.
Chiefs line up. This time they do the little play action. Pass across the middle is complete to number 21, and just like that, they're out to their own 37-yard line.
Bryce Baxter for Keokuk. That was a nicely run play. Mediapolis is going to have to watch those inside slants. You know, it's going to end up being a speed matchup here because you know Keokuk wants to put some points on the board in a hurry. So they're going to come out with the pass plays probably, but watch the running game.
Chiefs facing 1st and 10. About their own 37-yard line. Vandenberg, this time he hands it off to the big fullback up the middle, and I don't think there's anything there. They've got him stacked up for.
Whoa! I think we got a personal foul here. He threw the football.
Well, he handed off to the big fullback there, and he got hit right at the line of scrimmage. They got him marked for no gain, and just about that fast, you saw a little extra activities, and the yellow flag came out. And I believe that one's going to go against Keokuk. And if you're a coach at Keokuk trailing 21-0, that's not going to make you happy.
No, definitely is. No time to lose your composure at all. Definitely set them back, obviously. But you know what? That just tells you how bad Mediapolis is in their head right now. They are frustrated. They are angry. And so this is part of the game, too. Mediapolis is just taking it to them physically and mentally.
That was the call. Was it a personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct? But in any event, it's going to move Keokuk back to about their own 22 or 23-yard line, and they're facing 2nd and a mile. Well, you know they're going to go to the air here. This is a big play for the Bulldogs.
They've got,
back to pass. He's got that slant pattern again to number 5. He's got a lot of speed, and the Bulldogs close on him pretty fast after a gain of about 10 up to the 32-yard line.
11.
You hear the coaches over here in the Mediapolis booth talking about how the same area, and I think they're seeing it, and you got to believe at some point they're going to make a couple defensive adjustments to try to shut down that little slant pattern.
I think there's a little bit of a mismatch in speed right there. That slant, they're just not able to capitalize and get their defensive players on it. We've got a timeout. It looks like an official timeout.
Well, they got the scoreboard wrong. Obviously, they've got a second and 11, and it's more like third and about 16, 17 yards. So here's a big play for the Bulldogs. You've got to contain that receiver. Vandenberg back to pass, sees a man over the middle, and he overthrows his. Looked like maybe a fullback or something coming out of the backfield. They tried to hit him. There was nothing there. Ball overthrown, and the Bulldogs hold.
Definitely, this is a place where, you start to see the frustration mount with Keokuk. The pass was a little bit overthrown. Now's the time for Mediapolis to bring this thing back. Great field position. Oh, it's on the ground.
And there's a booming punt. It's going to be taken by Seth Beats, picks it up at about his own 40 and tucks that ball in. And looks like he's taken down at about the Bulldogs' own 45-yard line. So they got good field position lead.
Looks like we got a player down for Keokuk there, Bill. I can't quite see his number.
Boy, he's holding that knee, too.
Yeah, it's Gage Fenton. Boy, this doesn't look good. He's definitely holding that left knee.
Boy, that brings back some really bad memories from a couple of years ago. Coach, I was here, and we were playing, I want to say like Mid-Prairie or somebody. And there was Bulldogs had them. They were putting on a goal line stand way down here at the east end, and great penetration by the Bulldogs, and they sacked the quarterback, and there must have been 12 guys on that pile, and 11 of them got off.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to see this at any level in sports, but he's up though. He is semi-walking off under his own power.
The rest of that story, Lee, was that 12th guy in the bottom of that pile was Noah Schrock.
Oh no!
And it pretty much ended his football career. But so Noah, if you're out there listening, I know you are. We remember that play, and the good news is you made the sack. You were at the bottom of the pile. I'm still proud of you for that. And now enjoying his years at Iowa State and getting that ag degree. And
well, good for him.
Well, just a quick recap. Bulldogs took their first 2 possessions right down the field and scored a couple touchdowns, and then they were the beneficiaries of a turnover, and they turned it into 6. And then with 3:25 left in the first quarter, the Bulldogs are enjoying a 21-0 lead. We'll try to get to our sponsors just as quick as we get a break. So the Bulldogs will start out at their own 43-yard line. You got Jesse with a single eye back set. 2 right, 2 left, 1 right. Jesse's going to do a play action, It's going deep, going for all the marbles. He's got Jordan Wagenbach there, and he makes the catch. Makes the catch down at the Chiefs' 20-yard line. Coach.
That was just incredible. I tell you what, number 7, Drake Ryder for Keokuk had no idea where Wagenbach was. He was completely turned around. He was looking for tissues in the bathroom. He couldn't find anything, and Wagenbach just took the ball away from him.
Well, that's about 3 times now that Wagenbach has taken advantage of that one-on-one coverage down there, and I got to believe Chiefs are going to quit that.
They had better if they want to have any success, that's for sure.
1st and 10. They're trying to get down in the red zone, and this time they got a play action. Jesse's trying to get the corner, and he's breaks a couple tackles, puts his head down, and lunges ahead to about the 9-yard line. So
Ertz keeps the ball, tackled by.
I'll tell you what, Bill, there was almost a late hit by Keokuk there. There was a player that came in on Ertz dangerously late. And I'll tell you what, the officials better be watching that because he does have a target on his back. Keokuk knows who he is, and they would love to take him out of this game. But
well, it's about an 8-yard gain for Jesse, and quite frankly, should have been about a 5-yard loss, but that's just a sheer athleticism of the young man.
He shook that tackle wonderfully.
2nd, about 2. Jesse, this time he's rolling right. It's a keeper all the way. And we got a flag as Jesse runs it down to about the 5-yard line, but we've got holding against the Bulldogs, and that was an unfortunate break because this one was going to be 6 in a big hurry again.
They were definitely marching down the field, but I'll tell you what, I think that's the first penalty on Mediapolis, so a pretty clean game so far by the Bulldogs.
Pretty clean game, just a pretty tough time to do it. It's been a little bit of penetration by the Keokuk defensive line. The Bulldogs just did a little extra grab there, trying to keep it. So now they're going to be facing 2nd and about instead of 2nd and about 3.
Second.
Well, that would have been a first down. Now they're going to 2nd and about 13.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got Chase Miller and Wagenbach over here on the right side. You might want to keep an eye on this side over here.
Well, you got single coverage on the left side. Jesse blitz right up the middle. Jesse's.
Boy, he can get away from defenders, and he's still on his feet. And he's still on.
He just won't go down. He was hit by about 3 guys. He's just too shifty for him. He shakes him off, and he runs the ball all the way down to about the 10-yard line. Coach, did he pick up the first down? If he didn't, it's going to be awful close.
That's going to be really close. And I tell you what, they can't get a hold of his legs. They cannot bring him down. He does such a wonderful job getting out there and just shaking those arm tackles off. But I got to give him credit. Keokuk cannot get a lick on him.
Well, Lee, we got an officials timeout. Give us a chance to read off some of these fine sponsors that make this dogcast all possible.
Definitely. We thank the Brewer Agency, CMA Services, Wright Electric, Deb Massner Real Estate, S&G Construction, Hawkeye Pennershad, Main Street Tire, Prairie Ridge, Mediapolis Savings Bank, Klein's True Value, Myers Construction, Schrock's, USG, Great River Medical Center, Rhodes, Morning Sun Farm Implement, Beckman Teven Appliance in Burlington, Cafe Old World, MTC Technologies, Ertz Carpet, and the Mepo Booster Club, which would love to remind you that the Spirit Trailer will be open at home football games, so stop by and get your Bulldog and Bullet apparel. New items for this year include adult crew neck sweatshirts, adult and youth hoodies. And we're going back to the action now.
Well, they marked that as just about a half a yard short, Coach, so the Bulldogs will be looking at 3rd and 1 at about their own 11-yard line, or at the Chiefs' 11-yard line. You know they'd love to punch this one in.
Definitely. Put a big postage stamp and mail this one in to them.
This time Jesse comes under center, and he just plows ahead for about I think he just
Was he going to stop?
You know, that's the first time we've seen Jesse come up under center. He usually operates back in the shotgun. He just brought it quick under center, quick snap, and he runs ahead for a good, strong 4.5 yards for the first down.
I tell you what, though, Keokuk brought the blitz right up the center. What a great blocking job by the offensive line to pick that up and allow him to run.
So the Bulldogs will be facing 1st and goal down at the Chiefs' 5-yard line. Jesse looking over the sidelines for the play. Now he lines up in the shotgun. He's got Drew Buster back there with him. Got Ben Borwick right. Jesse's just going to hand it off to Drew Buster, and I don't think there's going to be much there. Just not getting that running game established yet, and I don't know, but I think he lost. Oh my goodness, looks like he lost.
Third sack on the play by number 29, Matt Knight. Be 2nd down.
Yeah, that was definitely a busted play. That just something went wrong there.
Nothing there. They marked that all the way back to about the Bulldogs' 11-yard line. And boy, right now, good news. The bad news is they can't seem to get that running game going real good. But the good news is they got a guy that can put it in the air.
And they've got great receivers that are coming down with it. So hopefully they can get the running game established and run some time off this clock.
Well, the Bulldogs are getting a 2nd goal from about the 11. You got Jordan Wagenbach left. You got Seth Beats lined up left, and I would not be surprised to watch Seth Beats run that little slant pattern just that fast. The Bulldogs get caught with delay of game, and that's going to cost him another 5.
Delay of game, Mediapolis.
That's the first time tonight that we're really seeing them sputter here. There's been some miscommunication or something going on.
Well, you can't play the perfect game, but boy, with 43 seconds left in the first quarter, how would you like to be able to tell people how much would you have expected to have a 24-0 lead in the first quarter? But of course, we're not quite there yet.
That's very true.
21, well, actually been 28-0. Now they're going deep, and Jesse just kind of throws the ball away. He had a lot of pressure up the middle. He throws the ball.
I tell you what, the receivers all got jumbled together on that. 3 Mediapolis Bulldogs were standing within a yard of each other. Yeah. A lot of confusion on that play.
Yeah, it might be a good time to call it. Well, you got the quarter coming up. But now you're looking at 3rd and goal from about the 16. And boy, if you want to see some magic, this would be a good time to see it. Jesse's back in the shotgun. Drew Buster back there in the single eye. Borwick right. Beats and Jordan Wagenbach left. Jesse looking left. Avoids the rush. Sees a man open over the middle, and it's Jordan Wagenbach. I think Jordan brought it down. No, they're going to call him out of the back of the end zone.
I'll tell you what, that was so close. That kid went up between 2 defenders and came down with that ball beautifully. That kid has got stickum on his hands, I swear.
Got some great timing, some great hops. And, I thought for a minute that he brought the ball down, was forced out of bounds by the defender. But
from this angle, I would have to absolutely agree with you.
I'm not sure what the rule is this year in high school football, whether or not he's got to come down, whether he's forced out or not. So the Bulldogs are going to go for it.
Empty backfield.
Empty backfield of pure, well, they got 1 tight end in, two wide left, 2 wide right. Jesse in the shotguns, goes back. He sees a man. Now he's going to avoid contact. He runs around left side, throws back. He's got a man.
Beautiful.
Over the corner of the end zone. Touchdown.
Beautiful.
Seth Beats.
I'll tell you what, you cannot say enough about Jesse. Jesse's poise under pressure. Put that thing on a frozen rope right into his hands. He had a guy wide open, but I got to give the kudos. And again, I missed the number. I apologize. But that offensive lineman laid that defensive tackle out. The guy's looking for chiclets to replace his teeth. I'm telling you, he had some excellent, excellent blocking up front.
There's the extra point by Elijah Wolf, and it just misses left. Had the distance, had some nice loft to it that time, but didn't get it. But nonetheless, the Bulldogs, with 22 seconds left in the first quarter, yes, you heard it right, folks, with 22 seconds left in the first quarter, lead 27-0.
Incredible.
Over the 3A Keokuk Chiefs. Coach, he's a D1 quarterback. Let me just put that in the record books now if there was ever any doubt.
I'll tell you what, he's looking fantastic. Of course, again, it is one whole team, but this guy is so cerebral, so smooth under pressure. The guy's a Dairy Queen milkshake. I'm telling you, he is so smooth, you just got to go back for more.
And he's surrounded by a host of great athletes.
Yes, it definitely, like I said, the offensive line has, even though he's been under pressure a couple times, have made some fantastic blocks, and his wide receivers are grabbing everything like it was Halloween night. I'm telling you, they're doing a wonderful job.
This time they have Elijah Wolf take over the kickoff duties, leading 27-0 in the first quarter. And there's the kick. Nice kick. Hot, deep, down the middle. Fielded by Keokuk at about their own 15. He's trying to find a little daylight, and he plunges ahead to about the 20, their own 29-yard line, where the Bulldogs will take over on defense.
They do an excellent job on the kickoff coverage. I mean, they really do. They go straight to the ball and they swarm. They do a wonderful job.
Well, you're going to see an aerial display here now, Coach. I got to believe 27-0 with a quarterback the quality of Gabe Vandenberg. And
you know he's got to be frustrated. You know he wants to put this thing up and he wants to score some points because he's got that name hanging over him. So you know Keokuk wants to light this up.
Vandenberg back in the shotguns. This time he does a play action. He's got some feet. He's got some room around the right side. And I see a flag there, and he ran it.
Definitely.
Boy, a big scramble for the football. Mediapolis thinks they've got it. There's a flag in the backfield. Let's see what the call is. The Bulldogs recovered the fumble. Gabe Vandenberg elected to keep the ball, ran ahead, and the call is also holding.
Number 55, Trenton Humphrey, pile drive the defensive lineman for Mediapolis. I mean, he had him on his head and was hanging on to him. His feet were kicking in the air. It was so obvious.
Coach, I think they're gonna say that ball was down on the ground. They called the pass incomplete. No, wait a minute. Mediapolis.
Oh no, they declined the penalty, so they're going to take it.
Mediapolis did jump on that fumble, declined the holding, of course, and just that quick, another turnover.
Wow.
The Bulldogs will take over.
I don't think Keokuk has really threatened into Mediapolis territory all night. I mean, with any significance, I don't think so.
Bulldogs will take over again at the Chiefs' 35-yard line, leading 27-0. Jesse in the shotgun, 2 right, 2 left. 1 lone setback. Jesse looking to pass all the way. Now he's avoiding the rush, and this time they're going to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
They sack him all the way back to about the Bulldogs' 47, or the Chiefs' 47-yard line.
Yeah, Matt Nye for Keokuk got a hold of him, and he wasn't letting go that time, so he wasn't able to avoid that one.
Well, Lee, they're just bringing the house as the first quarter comes to an end. They're bringing the house. They're getting some penetration. It's just been Jesse's sheer athleticism that's bought some time back then, and he's got receivers good enough to get open with that extra time.
But if they would establish the run, then that would that would make that defensive line more honest and their linebackers more honest to where, you know, Jesse would have more time. So I really think Mediapolis is going to have to establish the running game to give Jesse more time to really have what he needs to get down the field, other than with his feet.
Yeah, you'd like to see that running game get established, open up a little more time for him in that pass play. But right now, I got to think maybe the Bulldogs are thinking if they're bringing that much heat, maybe the Bulldogs are going to do a little more tight end slants and that type of thing. And I see number 81, Drew Massner, which was young man was a real treat to watch last week. He's got great hands. He's got great size, and he really likes to make them yards after catch. Let's see if they don't make an attempt to get the ball to him.
Definitely, you know, that would be a way to go. The Boosters would like to say a big thank you to all the business and individuals who have sponsored our golf tournament and other events over the past year. The proceeds have helped to pay for a new track timing system, football scoreboard, and visitor side bleachers. Items we plan to support in the near future include irrigation for the softball field, resurface of the track, and new wall of fame in the high school concourse.
So the Bulldogs will take over, facing 2nd and a mile from their own, from the Chiefs' 47-yard line. Jesse avoids pressure back then. Again, this time he looking for some daylight, and they're going to run him out of bounds clear on the other side of the field. As a lot of lateral running.
That was a screenplay that went absolutely nowhere. The linemen all just let go of their blockers, or let go of their blocks. They got ready to set to head down the field, and something just didn't go right.
Now somebody must have either couldn't get separation, but it was a good call. Didn't work. The Bulldogs will be facing 3rd and about 21 yards to go from the Chiefs.
Looks like we got an equipment malfunction on Keokuk's side there. You know, for a second there, it really looked like Keokuk was confused. When the blockers all just kind of left him, they didn't, I mean, they kind of came upfield, but they were like real hesitant. It was like almost, whoa, what's going on here? And then, you know, it just didn't work out for Mediapolis. Otherwise, it should have been an excellent play.
So the Bulldogs will try it again, facing 3rd and a mile. 1 right, 2 left. Jesse in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz up the middle. Jesse's going to try to avoid the trouble, and he tucks it in. He's got a little daylight, puts a couple jukes on. He's got some daylight. He runs all the way down to about the 38-yard lines. He picked up probably close to.
Ertz keeps the ball tripped up.
What did he get? About 8 out of that, and that was pure Jesse Ertz.
Who iced up the field and put skates on this kid? I'm not kidding you. He goes down through there like an ice skater. I mean, he just I'm impressed. I mean, they just cannot get a hand on Ertz.
I want to give a big shout out to Jeff Campbell, texting us in here at the booth, telling us a good job. And Jeff, I want to say the same to you on the article that won a big contest about you and your dad. I tell you what, it was special, and you most certainly got my vote, and thanks for the nice compliment there, Jeff. We'll see you at the duck blind.
Well, once again, we'd like to thank all of our Dogcast sponsors. We'd love to thank Schrock's Lumber. Building a team is like building a house. Each need a strong foundation and teamwork. U.S. Gypsum Company, a proud supporter of all Mediapolis school and athletics. Great River Medical Center, dedicated to improving the region's health by providing quality care. Rhodes, supporters of Mediapolis students and athletes. Go Dogs!
Well, Lee, the Bulldogs will be facing 4th and 13. 4th down hasn't seemed to be a hindrance to them before, but that was down deep in Chiefs territory. Now they're more out in the middle of the field, and they're facing 4th and about 13 down on the Chiefs' 38-yard line. It looks to me like they've got some confidence that offense. They're going for it.
Oh, yeah. And why not? I mean, a punt would not really,
not gain you much.
Not really. And
Jesse in the shotgun. He's going right over the middle. He's got a man wide open. There's Massner. That was Massner fading right over the
Drew Massner right down the gut, wide open, hit him right in the numbers.
Well, Coach, we talked about that young man being a factor this year, and boy, he was wide open over the middle. He collected that thing in, and you see how he was not satisfied with anything less than a few more yards, and he gets a big
made sure he
down.
Secured it, turned around, and put his head down and go.
Ran it all the way down to the Chiefs' 19-yard line. Jesse, again, this time looks like it's a keeper all the way. He's trying to get the corner on the right side. He does. And he's going to couple jukes, and he breaks the tackle, takes it into the end zone from 20 yards out. It looked like they were going to hit him at about the 8, at about the 12-yard line, where it would have been a second and a short 2. No go, says Jesse. He dives over the tackler and just takes another 10 yards into the end zone for the touchdown.
Unbelievable. 3 guys had a crack at him, and not a one could lay a lick. I'm telling you what, it looked like it was just a bad ice cream cone with a bunch of lazy dogs. They just couldn't. Oh, there's the offset line again.
They're going for 2 this time.
Oh!
Seth Beats is going to walk it in. You know when things are going your way, Coach.
That's exactly what I was going to say. When they're going your way, just that kind of play. That Keokuk player read it all the way. It went off his fingertips right into his hands. And just, like you said, when it's right, it's right.
That was set up to be a little screen pass over in the right flats to Seth Beats. The defensive end read it well, went up in the air, got his fingers in it.
Just not enough.
The old tip drill came into play right there, and Seth Beats gathered it in, turned around, saw daylight, walked it in for the extra 2 points. Just that fast. Coach, there's buku time left in the first half.
Wow.
And the Bulldogs are leading 35-0.
Oh, man. I came in here tonight knowing that Mediapolis could and probably would put the hurt on. I just wasn't prepared how much hurt they packed in their bag tonight. And they're bringing it out by the fistfuls.
And they've been the beneficiary. Both the turnovers have gone their way. And, there's been a lot of teams that were very competitive and probably should have been in the game, and the turnovers can just – but it's been more than that tonight. And, Seth, this time you've got Chase Miller's going to be doing the kickoff duties. And, I feel sorry for those cheerleaders. They do a push-up for every point. And they're starting to get a little bit –
They're going to have bigger guns than I do.
Here's the kickoff from the 40. High and deep down the middle.
Oh, beautiful kick.
Drive that receiver back. He's looking for a little daylight, puts on a burst of speed, and pops up to about the 25-yard line. You know, Coach, you watch them run that football, throw that football, and their receivers. And quite frankly, I'm shocked we've got a 35-0 game because this is clearly a better football team than that. The Bulldogs are just doing what they want to do and just enforcing their will over a very good Keokuk team.
That's the thing that's amazing me is Mediapolis is doing it even when they had the 4th and something. You know, they're doing what they want to do. And yeah, the ball has bounced their way occasionally, but Mediapolis is pushing their will on Keokuk.
Gabe Vandenberg, this time he rolls out right. He's looking for a receiver. He's got him open over the middle. It's a slant pattern. And
number 11, Dan Williams, the senior for Keokuk.
Dan Williams flex it in about the Chiefs' own 35-yard line. You know, a little too much daylight there, Coach, but with a 35-0 lead, you're going to play just a little bit safe.
Yeah, you don't want to get beat on the very deep ball. I mean, you want to keep them in front of you, make them grind it out. You want to make them pay for every yard.
It's official's timeouts. He picked up, looks to me like he picked up. I think he picked it up. Picked up a strong 10, I believe. But you know, Coach, even as talented as this Dan Williams is, if you noticed, he made the catch, went down to the ground, and if you're trailing 35-0, you're going to need a few more yards after the catch to get back into this ball game. And I think the young man knows that. You can tell he's a great player.
You know, I just wonder how much Mediapolis is now in the head of the Keokuk players. I mean, this is not just a physical contest. It makes you wonder if the Bulldogs haven't already gotten into the heads of the Chiefs.
And it is a first down for the Keokuk Chiefs. They'll be starting out at about their own 35-yard line. 10:22 left in the first half. Bulldogs enjoying a sizable 35-0 lead.
Well, you weren't kidding. That number 79 for Keokuk, that's a big boy.
Vandenberg, this time he's looking to pass again. Here comes the blitz. And Chase Miller lays the boom on him. Chase Miller, the right dog on the Bulldogs defense, hesitated a little bit to make sure he had no pass coverage, and then he just did the delayed blitz, and Vandenberg took it right square in the chops.
Yep, he's waking up in the morning trying to hit snooze, and the alarm clock's not going off right now.
Looks like he lost about 10. You're killing me, Lee. You're just killing me.
I'm having fun. I'm telling you. This is great to be back in Iowa football.
That'd be second about 20. Vandenberg's going to go for a little slant pattern to number 5. And
little shake and bake.
A couple tackles, but they hang on. They probably give him about another 3 yards. And Sanders, boy, he's a shifty little receiver over there, isn't he? But that's good coverage by the Bulldogs, but they just missed the first couple tackles, and he gets about 15 out of that.
This is where I'm starting to get worried that maybe Mediapolis is going to get a little complacent in their tackling. You know, you look at the score, you've got to pound it into these guys. You can't let them back.
3rd and 6 for the Chief at about their own 40-yard line. Vandenberg rolls out right. Got a couple receivers out there. Now he elects to bring it down. He's going to have the first down and takes it out to about midfield.
I'll tell you what, I just saw something that's completely different between Vandenberg and Ertz. And that is Vandenberg had his head down. He didn't have his head up, his shoulders squared as he was running. He was looking to go down, whereas Ertz always has his head up looking for that niche or that groove he could exploit. What a difference in quarterbacks. That just tells you a Division I quarterback right there.
You know, if Ertz was dribbling the ball, you'd say he sees the court well. Vandenberg probably protecting himself a little bit there. He's back to pass. Here comes a little pressure up the middle. Vandenberg's got a receiver right over the left side. Covered up quick by Jordan Wagenbach, but the pass is complete down to the Bulldogs' 41-yard line.
Good coverage. Good coverage.
You know what I'm not seeing, Coach? The Bulldogs are going to need to get a little bit more pressure up the middle. And they're giving Vandenberg too much time down there, and you can't give a quarterback that's that quality that much time. But then again, a lot of pressure up the middle is not the nature of a 3-5 defense.
Exactly.
This
Exactly.
time they have a handoff off to the big fullback, and I think he fights ahead for just about enough to pick up the first down. He does.
I tell you what, Bill, I'm looking out here, and I'm really starting to get a little bit concerned about maybe a little bit of fatigue on some of these guys. It's a very humid night, although it's cool. It's very humid, so I'm wondering if maybe a little bit of fatigue and a little bit of the, not necessarily cramps, are setting in. So I'm really going to keep an eye on these guys.
Vandenberg back in the shotgun again. This time he looks left, quick pass that way. He's got his man. He puts on a move, makes the first man miss, makes the second man miss, and finally brought down after he picks up another first down.
Vandenberg's pass complete. Bryce Baxter tackled by Drew Foster for the Bulldogs.
Drew Foster. That's who I thought it was. I'll tell you what, he stayed home and made sure he hit that receiver low. He wasn't going to let him get any further.
Well, with a 35-0 lead, the score's not going to kill you. You just don't want him to score quick.
No, and this is actually about as far as Keokuk was in the first quarter into Mediapolis territory.
First and 10, Keokuk from the Bulldogs 28. Vandenberg looks right. He's got a man there, and this time it's his Williams, and he goes to one knee as he catches the ball. And they do call it a completion up to about the Bulldogs 21.5-yard line.
5 yards. Second 5.
Coach, you're not seeing them get yards after catch. I don't know if they just think the ball's too low and they're going down to get it, or if they just don't.
I don't see the tenacity. I really don't. It's one of those things, like you said, it's easy to make a cop-out and say, well, the ball was low, I'm going down. When you're down by this much, you've got to fight for it.
You got to have that sense of urgency. Vandenberg, he's got a lone fullback back there, straight back, looking to pass. Oh, and there's going to be a holding on somebody, I believe. The runner takes the ball all the way down to about the 10-yard line of the Bulldogs, but I believe that one's coming back. We've got 2 flags. Coach, at first I thought that was a holding call on our defender over there, but fortunately the play was going right. It looked to me like the Bulldogs had some defensive holding at the cornerback position on the left side, but they had holding at the line first, and
there was definitely holding on the line. But I'll tell you what, I got to give Vandenberg props there. At the end of that run, he did put his shoulder down, fighting for everything he could. So, but unfortunately for Keokuk, it's all for naught.
Well, the Bulldogs were on the wrong end of one of those untimely holding calls, and this one's got to hurt if you're Keokuk. That'll push them back to about the Bulldogs' 32-yard line, where they will be facing second about 15.
Again, here's Mediapolis. Keokuk's making a move. Mediapolis is the beneficiary of a bad choice on the Keokuk line. So, is it being good that gets you good, or is it just, so we'll take whatever we can get. Don't get me wrong.
Vandenberg's got 2 left, 1 right. Single tight end set. This time he's looking left all the way. He's got a man open over the middle, but he can't hang on, and almost picked off on the tip by Seth Beats, and he's kind of kicking himself for letting that one slip by, but good coverage by the Bulldogs. They kind of threw it into a crowd there, and Keokuk will be facing third.
That kid for Keokuk came across there, and Mediapolis was in his head. He did not want to catch that ball coming across the center of the field. The Bulldogs are definitely laying the licks on them. They're getting them to think, I'm going to get hit before they catch. So that wasn't the best thrown ball, but you can see the Bulldogs are in their head.
Vandenberg again, 2 left, 1 right. Vandenberg looking left, looking all the way. Now he's got some pressure. He's going to tuck the ball in. They're going to cover up, and nice hit down there by Dalton. Is that Dalton Scott? That was Dalton Scott that put in the nice lick on Vandenberg as he ran the ball up to about the.
That looked like, Keokuk really made a play there, but actually the defense did exactly what they were supposed to do. They played containment. They kept him in check. They didn't let him get anything big. So actually they did a perfect job on that defense.
And they made the runner pay with that hit. Nice hit there by Dalton Scott as they get back up to about the original line of scrimmage where you got 4th and 10. Let's call it a long 10. And, of course, they'll go for it, trailing 35-0 with 5:43.
Uh-oh.
Flags everywhere.
We got a illegal start.
And that one's got to hurt, Coach. That's offsides against Keokuk, and that's going to make it 4th and 15 again.
Wow.
A little bit of self-destruct here going by this 3A team.
Yeah, definitely. Mediapolis is in their head. You saw them being frustrated in the first quarter by throwing the football. You can see that they're making the mental mistakes. that you just can't have if you're trying to play catch-up. You've got to play ball perfectly to play catch-up. And Mediapolis is in their head, and it's costing them. They're making the bad mistakes.
4th and 15, Borson cheers on his troops. There's Vandenberg in the shotgun. He's looking pass all the way, lofts it over the middle, and it's going to be picked up. Oh! Tipped, and then picked off by number 59. I believe that's Shadle. Couldn't quite hang on to it as he hit the ground, but the Bulldogs will take over on downs. And you know, it's probably a good thing he did not catch that football.
I'll tell you what, I got to give kudos to number 66, Forrest Stellan. A huge push up the center. I mean, he was right there going after the quarterback, putting the pressure on. Great job by Forrest. He was just right in his face. A great push.
Well, that's a key component of defense. You know, there's some great quarterbacks that don't look so great when they're facing the bless you. This is a high-class joint, folks. We've got beautiful ladies that are bringing us up drinks and refreshments, and we thank her for that.
Where have I been all these years?
Bulldogs take over. Jesse, this time he's going to hand it off to Dalton Scott, who's fighting for a few yards over the right side. Cannot get outside. Just cannot separate himself from the defenders, and they run him down right at about the line of scrimmage. Well, you know, it's hard to see anything you think the Bulldogs need to work on with a 35-0 lead in the first quarter, but
establishing a running game has got to be one thing they've got to go after. They've got to really do. I mean, look, you've got the lead. Now's the time to work on it. Get back to that hard-nosed push.
Bulldogs 2nd and 10 from their own 32-yard line. Jesse in the shotgun. This is a keeper all the way as he finds some room around the left side. Here's a block out front by Dalton Scott. And Jesse's got the sidelines. It's a foot race between him and the corner. He cuts it back across the field. They're not going to catch him. 40, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jesse Ernst.
It's a clinic, man. It's a clinic. Oh, my.
Did I hear the proverbial flag on the play? You know, it's almost got to be a push.
Oh, yes, when he gets out like that. But I'll tell you what. Just watching him slice up a defense is incredible. You know, you don't want to harp on just one guy.
Push in the back.
Push in the back.
Now the Bulldogs, you know, if you're a defender.
That's too bad. That was a beautiful play.
Sometimes if you're a defender, you've just got to let it go. And if you're on a return team. And it was unfortunate. Jesse just took the lead block from Dalton Scott there and jumped over the pile and had one guy to beat. Cut back inside and left him standing in his.
You know, Bill, that's the one thing, though, that's starting to scare me without a running game is the fact that they are relying so much on Jesse. You know, other teams on down the road are going to be keying on this, and they are really going to be looking to take him out. Now, I'm not talking just hurt him. I'm talking about taking him out, and if they don't get a running game established, there's going to be a team that can do that.
Yeah, you know, there'll be people everywhere be looking at this tape to see what Jesse did, and quite frankly, I hope Coach Paul Rhodes is looking at this tape. Jesse pitches out
there
right
we go.
to Dalton Scott. He's got a blocker out there, and he makes the first
there you go.
miss and plows it head up to about up to the 30-yard lines. The Bulldogs on that penalty on that block in the back were facing about 2nd and 20.
You know what? That was a good pitch out, though, and that's what you need to do is start doing that. Even if it is the pitch outs, if you're trying to outrun the defense, fine. If you can break that corner, great. But what I would really like to see at this point in time is a big punch in the face. Send it up the gut. And I don't know that Meeple's got the power, but it would be nice to see.
And I think they're probably against this 3A team. They're giving up about looks like probably a good 20, 30 pounds up front. Jesse with one single eye back. Looking for that little slant pattern. Nothing there. He's going to tuck it in. He's still avoiding Russ. He sees a man across the middle. He's got Jordan Wagebach.
He's everywhere.
Improvised play, and Wagebach refuses to go down. Runs it all the way out to the Bulldogs' 46-yard line. That's a Bulldog. First down.
He is everywhere, and a great job of Jesse keeping it composed, looking down the field. Jordan looking out for his quarterback, saying, here I am, I'm going to get it for you. And the great job of just running with the ball after the catch.
Well, look, Lee, I don't know if it's just me, but so far since I've been in the booth, we have had a young lady come in and offer us refreshments.
Excellent.
Just a couple minutes ago, Sheriff's Patrol walked through here, and I'm looking at this Lee Kerr, and I'm saying, I'm in here with a celebrity.
I don't know about that. Maybe, you know.
Bulldogs 1st and 10. This time they hand it off to Dalton again on a handoff, and he's trying to find a little room, and he does a nice job of plowing ahead out to about the 40. I think they're going to give him about the 49-yard line, maybe gain of about 3.
He did a nice push there at the end of the run. He put that shoulder in there, and he did push for about another yard or so. So, yeah, you know, I tell you what, I talked about it a little bit earlier. I'm a little bit worried about the fatigue coming on here. So, you know, we want to be watching these guys.
It's going to be second and about 7, I believe. Second, let's call it a second and long 6. Bulldogs are throwing 49-yard line. 2 right, 1 left. Jesse in the shotgun, 1 tailback back with him. Jesse looking to pass all the way, avoids the rush. He's got daylight around the left side on the broken play, and there he goes, down to the 40, all the way down to the Chiefs' 25-yard lines.
That was 3 guys on him.
Took a hard lick at about the 30. And yet still he ends up down at the 25.
You know, I realize that was a broken play, and Jesse did all the running there, but I do have to take a call out to Ethan Lamb. He laid out a very large defensive lineman there for Keokuk. He did an excellent job. That wasn't the guy that was chasing Jesse, let me tell you. He did a great job.
Well, Jesse with a 2-back set this time. He's got Seth Beats right. He's got Jacob Eberhardt playing in the slot on the left side. This time he's going to hand off right up to Dalton Scott's got a little hole over that right side, and there's a nice run.
There we go.
Runs it all the way down to the 5th, and a late flag, all the way down to the 15-yard line. And I got to believe that's a little extracurricular at the end of the play like that.
You know, I'm starting to see a little bit more of that, it seems like, here lately. A lot of frustration starting to boil up here.
We have a flag on the play.
But I'll tell you what, it was good to see a little bit of Bulldog smash mouth right there. That was good to see.
It was, but I got to believe that's going to be a personal foul against Keokuk. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Keokuk.
Yeah.
And an ejection.
Oh, no.
Coach, they just gave him ejection. That's something you just don't see very often in high school football, but we're seeing it here tonight. We're seeing a lot of firsts here tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of frustration there. You can see that in the last few plays, I'm starting to see a little bit more of that from Keokuk. They're just Mediapolis is in their head. They're just angry.
I didn't see what happened.
I didn't either.
Immediate ejection. The Keokuk coach is out to get an explanation. And Coach, maybe we can use this little break to get a couple fine sponsors.
Definitely, we can do that. Let's give a shout out to Brewer Agency, your local hometown insurance agency, providing all of your insurance needs. CMA Services wants to wish the best of luck to both the football and volleyball teams. Wright Electric. See Travis or Ed Wright for all of your electrical needs.
Well, after that penalty, the Bulldogs are going to...
Did we see at all what happened? Oh, they're still talking, aren't they?
Still talking about it over there. Bulldogs are ready to play.
Yeah, they are. They got up there.
I don't think the Keokuk coach is quite accepting that explanation. But they called the unsportsmanlike penalty, and just that fast, referee gave the thumbs out, and that young man was escorted to the sidelines. Well, that's not what you like to see, but...
You know, unfortunately, a lot of times that I see it's a punch or so. But hopefully it wasn't that far. You know, it didn't go that far.
Well, it sure didn't do Keokuk any good, because now after that penalty, the Bulldogs will take over first and goal from the Keokuk 8-yard line. And they got 1:51 left in the half to add a little bit of insult to injury. Jesse back in the shotgun. They've got one man wide right, and Jacob Eberhardt. They do a handoff straight up the middle, and I believe that was Dalton Scott, and I don't think he got much.
No, it didn't look like it.
Dalton Scott with the carry, tackled by number 65, Alex Goss. It'll be second and goal.
Yeah, we've got Mediapolis. We've got Jesse back in the shotgun. A fake to the left-hand side. He's rolling right. Nothing there. He's coming back to the left all the way down. He's going to be in.
Ertz in for the touchdown.
Touchdown, Mediapolis. Ertz went all the way. A busted play. He was headed to the right side. Nothing there. Read it beautifully. Came back to the left and ran it all the way in.
You know, I watched this game here tonight,
Elijah Wolf out
and it
for the
reminds me of a
extra
game
point.
I watched several years ago when Tanner Miller from Mid-Prairie played. Bulldogs had a really good football team, and I thought they played them man for man until Tanner Miller decided to take over the ball game. And of course now he's a safety for the Iowa Hawkeyes and a fine player. And I think that one's good.
Well, they've hit it right, they've hit it left, and they've been 2 down the middle, so I think we're doing all right.
Boy, nice kick there by Elijah. He gets the kudos from Coach Morrison.
Wow, you got to feel good about 42.
That one was right down the gut. Looked like he'd been kicking extra points his entire life. And just like that, with 1 minute and 1 second left in the half, folks, if you're just joining us, sit down. When I tell you it's 42-0.
Right before the half.
Right before the half. You're probably going to want to check your server, but it's all true.
Definitely. Mediapolis has dominated so far. They've had a few lucky bounces go their way, and Keokuk has imploded a few times. But you know what? That's what makes a good team, too, is taking advantage of the other team's mistakes. So, with Mediapolis putting it onto them physically, mentally, and with Keokuk's implosions, yes, this is Mediapolis football, definitely.
Bryce Baxter.
Well, after this performance tonight, I can tell you from experience, you're going to see some message boards that are going to be questioning a couple in-state schools as to why this young man out here didn't receive that scholarship offer. But they
Definitely.
might. It's not over till it's over.
That's true.
Chase Miller will be doing the kickoff duties this time. Kicks one down about the 15-yard line where it's fielded right there, trying to pick up a blocker, and they take him down. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. They wrestle him down at about the Chiefs' own 28-yard line, where they'll start off with 55 seconds left in the half and trailing 42-0.
Keep the evening of Saturday, November 24th open on your calendar as the Boosters will be holding alumni basketball games, and it's an event you won't want to miss. The plan is to have games for traditional boys and girls 5-on-5 and, of course, girls 6-on-6. It wouldn't be the Mediapolis alumni basketball without a game of girls 6-on-6. We're hoping for a lot of participation so multiple games can be held, so spread the word to all of your former teammates and get signed up. Entry forms will be available at home football and volleyball games, so you can also visit them on Facebook for an early entry form.
Well, there's that slap pattern as the Chiefs are going to try to go.
Going back to the well for another one, weren't they?
And try to go the length of the field in 42 seconds, but I think they're going to let this clock run. But they did pick up about 8 yards on that.
Now they're
slap
coming
pattern
back.
for Dan Williams. They go to the no huddle. Vandenberg back, looks right, left, got a man out there all alone.
It's Williams.
Number 5.
Or excuse me, Sanders. Excuse me.
Boy, and when they do make these completions, you realize what a talented football team they are. They just had too many things going against them, and it's probably a good thing we had those 2 turnovers and capitalized on them, but
that could have been a whole different ball game if we hadn't.
Vandenberg rolling right, sees a man coming out of the backfield. He puts his head down, and nice hit out there by Jacob Eberhard. He takes him down hard, but not till after gain about 7 yards.
Definitely, though, they're in a prevent right now, Bill. They're just not letting the big one go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You'll be more than happy to give them 5-6 yards at a crack with.
Rather than give them the upswing of getting a score.
And there is only 8 seconds left in the half, and
they're going to go for it. It's got to be a Hail Mary.
Yeah, this one's about a little bit of sense of dignity. But there's 8 seconds left as Keokuk called the timeout. 8 seconds left in the half, and they'll be facing second and about 3 at the Bulldogs. Let's call it the 45-yard line. But this isn't about picking up the first down with 8 seconds left. They're going to be going to the end zone. And, of course, the Bulldogs got a pretty fine safety back there themselves.
Yeah.
Going to try and stop that from happening to Jesse Ertz.
Yeah, definitely going to be in prevent. You're going to let them have anything underneath. You're going to swarm to the ball if that's where they want to go. If they want to go to Hail Mary, we've got Jesse Ertz back there. We've got some other hands back there, obviously, that can go up and contest for the ball. So it's all a matter of prevent at this time. Don't let them go into the the second half having a score at halftime.
But you know what, Coach? Just as soon as we say that, Coach Borson did probably a pretty intelligent thing. He pulls Jesse out of the game. He's got Jacob Derbyshire and got another safety back there. They're going to be playing deep. They don't want to risk the injury to Jesse.
They got Jordan Wagenbach and Drew Foster, it looks like.
Foster back there playing deep safety.
And then number 27, Drew Buster.
Looking for the Hail Mary. He's got some pressure on him.
He's not going to make it.
Going nowhere.
Great job. Great job by that defensive line and linebackers.
Great containment downfield by the Bulldogs, and the first half comes to a close with the Bulldogs leading the Keokuk Chiefs 42-0 here at Archer Field in Mediapolis.
Oh, man, Mediapolis football, nothing beats it. I tell you what, I'm so happy to be back. This is wonderful. Beautiful, beautiful night. That rain is held off. There is a cool breeze out there. A great crowd down here below. Very supportive. But, with 42-0, there's a lot to cheer about. But still, they're active in the game. It's great to see the turnout, definitely, on a beautiful night like this.
Well, Lee, I'm going to see if we can find a couple parents of the football players here. See if we can maybe get an interview or two here. But, boy, it's going to be pretty hard to find somebody that's not happy with this 42-0 thumping that the Bulldogs are putting on this.
There really hasn't been a whole lot to go wrong. I mean, there's been a couple of busted plays. The running game isn't great, but it doesn't have to be right now. So, yeah, I think everybody's more than happy with the performance right now against a 3A team. It's incredible. And, of course, it doesn't matter when you're a Bulldog supporter. It's fantastic no matter what. So we've always had one of the greatest communities to have support for both the Bulldogs and the Bullets. I remember back in school, it was incredible to feel that from the crowd no matter what was going on, but especially during football games on a beautiful night like tonight. So looks like we might have somebody stepping in, huh? Oh, no, I'm being shaken off. I guess not. So Bill, I thought you were going to bring somebody in, Bill. Well, I'll tell you what, let's go through a few more of our supporters for the Dogcast. We really appreciate everyone here, of course. S&G Construction currently has lots available for purchase in the RDM LLC subdivision in Mediapolis. Hawkeye Pender Shop. Fill out an application for a rewarding career at the Hawkeye Pender Shop. Go Bulldogs. Main Street Tire. Your tires and safety with us are number one. Not just an afterthought. Sponsors of all Mepo athletics. Prairie Ridge. Providing care for the Des Moines County and the Mediapolis community. Mediapolis Savings Bank. Supporters of the Mediapolis community, its students and athletes. Klein's True Value, where I got this shirt tonight, and thank you very much. It is a cool, dry shirt. It's a wonderful shirt. You need to go get one on a night like tonight. Orange and black apparel, towels, drawstring bags, seat cushions, and much, much more. See the wide assortment of Mediapolis and Pretty clothing at Klein's True Value. Just ask Rental. 530 Main Street, Mediapolis.
Is the band ready?
Myers Construction. No job is too big or small. Myers Construction can handle them all. Trucks. Building a team is like building a house. Each needs a strong foundation and teamwork. USG, a proud supporter of Mediapolis School and Athletics. Great River Medical Center, dedicated to improving the region's health by providing quality care. Roads, supporters of Mediapolis students and athletes. Go Dogs. Morning Sun Farm Implement. Your home for sales, service, and everything from the farm to the lawn. Beckman TV and Appliance in Burlington. Your brand source dealer for Samsung televisions, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, and Speed Queen. Cafe Old World. Stop in after the game for famous Old World pizza and Ashby's ice cream. MTC Technologies is proud to sponsor Bulldog academics and athletic programs. Catch the replay of this and other Mediapolis games on MTC local channel number 10. Home for Duraramic, Congolium, and Armstrong Flooring. Mepo Booster Club, promoting all things Bulldogs and Bullets. Talk about a booster event? Well, let's have one right now. The Spirit Trailer will be open for home football games, so stop by and get your Bulldog and Bullet apparel. New items this year include adult crew neck sweatshirts, adult and youth hoodies, bibs, Burt Braggs, headbands and hair bows, boys and girls shorts, boys and girls shirts, beach towels, light up spirit sticks, paw necklaces, face tattoos, clear orange and white glasses with straw.
Well, thanks for doing that, Lee. And, during the half here, I was able to get a hold of David Ertz, what's got to be just the absolute proud father of Jesse Ertz, and said he had a little business to take care of, and then he would be up. So
excellent. Love to hear from him.
So we'll look forward to having him up here in the booth with us shortly. But
definitely.
What can you say? 42-0. We knew we had a fine team, and of course, when you're the number 1 rated 2A team in the state, you've got quality.
Yes, you got quality. Otherwise, you wouldn't be ranked. And a game like this at 42-0 at half has got to make them really open up their eyes and go, hey, you know what? We did this for a reason, and they're giving us proof right now, because this is honestly a football game to be remembered, because Jesse Ertz has taken this team and just run with it, literally, because, the running game hasn't been quite there, but his receivers have stepped up. And his offensive line, honestly, for being overpowered by bigger, and they are literally bigger defensive linemen, have done an excellent job. There have been some blocks that, like I said, man, that one kid's still picking out chiclets for his teeth because, just an excellent job. And that's what you expect from a Mediapolis Bulldog team.
Well, slowly the stats will start to trickle into the booth here. We hope to get most of them before the half is over, but I did get word that Jesse had over 125 yards passing. Get this, Lee, in the first quarter.
Just the first quarter.
Just the first quarter, and he had over 100 yards rushing by the half. So, those are game stats sometimes, and
entire game stats. Yes.
Entire game stats, and he had a ton more yards and a ton more rushing yards than that by the halftime, and so it'd be interesting to see what our man down on the sidelines, Ken Harshbarger, puts together for stats, but we'll get that information to you as it trickles in. Until that time, we've got the Mediapolis band is performing, and Coach, as good as a football team looks, this band looks pretty good.
Not too bad at all, and sounds pretty good too. Athletics isn't the only thing Mediapolis does well. The band has always been exceptional, always been recognized as one of the best in the state. So we have to be proud of all parts of our Mediapolis school system, from the band, athletics, and other items that Mediapolis does, because we have to be proud of our community and our schools, and I know I am, because it's wonderful to be back in town. I'm just loving this.
Well, everybody loves the winter, and I know you've been out of town for a little while, as was I a few years back, Lee, but
you can't beat coming back, can you?
Can't beat coming home. and like Dorothy said, there's no place like home. There's no place like home, but
I don't want to see you in Ruby shoes.
No, I
again.
I can assure you do not want to see me, but one thing I think you'll notice now as you're back, Lee, is just the support of this Mediapolis team and other fans, and they travel tremendously. As we go on the road here together throughout this season, you'll find out that many times the Bulldogs will just about outnumber the home team 2-1, and that's a testament to the good fan support that we've got. Well, we've got Coach Ken Harshbarger that's going to join us here in the booth. He's picked up some stats, and Kent, what do you have for us?
Well, I just was doing a little work here on some statistics. Jesse Ertz has 187 yards rushing and 147 yards passing in the first half, so he's got 334 yards of total offense. That's pretty impressive. They have no answer for him right now. It looked like they thought they'd take the passing game away, and of course he ripped off the big runs early, and he's just kept it going. So second half we'll have a running clock again, and I believe I'm right, we still haven't punted this year. So maybe we'll get that first punt in the second half sometime and give our punter a chance to do something. Otherwise, they're going to put the punter on Social Security and let him retire. So it was a great first half, overwhelming. I never expected this. I don't think probably anyone else did. So
no, At one point in the game, the Bulldogs did have about a fourth and long, real long, 4th and 15, 16 yards from the middle of the field, and they have still elected to go for it and got it quite easily. So I'm not sure they're going to be punting anytime soon, Coach.
No, I think the other side of it is the defense has played very well. I mean, this is a high-powered offense coming in. You saw what Vandenberg did last week against Tumwa, for a school that had played the week before against, I think, Des Moines Valley of West Des Moines, and given them a good game. So I expected the offense to move the ball against our defense, but once again, they've dominated up front, just like they did in a Lone Tree. So we'll see what happens in the second half. You come out, you want your kids to come out and play hard because injuries happen when you don't do that, but it's going to be hard to match the intensity that they opened the game with. So I just hope they can do that. We'll get maybe some more experience for some of the reserves, and boy, that pays off down the road. As we all know, you don't go through seasons without some nicks and bumps along the way, and so if those young kids get a chance to play that'll make this a perfect night. And the rain's held off so far, which has been good. We need the rain, but after 10 o'clock.
Well, speaking of the rain, if anyone's got access to radar and wants to text the location of those showers into it, it'd be much appreciated. Well, Coach, thanks for those stats.
That's about all I've got here. It was tough keeping up with all that, man. We were moving up and down the field so fast I couldn't write it down fast enough to keep up with it. And, of course, those are unofficial stats. You know, Dennis Brewer down on the sideline has the official stuff. So it should be close, though.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, I'd like to continue on with our boosters. Boosters would like to say a big thank you to all of the business and individuals who have sponsored our golf tournament and other events over the past year. The proceeds have helped to pay for a new track timing system, football scoreboard, and visitor side bleachers. Items we plan to support in the near future include irrigation for the softball field, resurface of the track, and a new wall of fame in the high school concourse. These are all projects that will improve and help promote Mediapolis athletics and wouldn't be possible without the support of our great community. So the Booster Club would like to say thank you, and so would we here at the Dogcast to all of our supporters and all of you who attend all the games and listen on the internet. Don't forget to, or on our podcast, or our Dogcast. Don't forget, you can also tune in soon, not tonight, but soon, to Channel 10 on the Mediapolis cable system and see this game with the Dogcast.
And a special thanks to all you who are texting in your comments to us here this evening at 319-572-5220. We appreciate it. It's great to know what's going on out there on the other end of our streaming.
Again, we'd like to say thank you to some of our Dogcast sponsors: Brewer Agency, CMA Services, Wright Electric, Deb Massiner Real Estate, SG Construction, Hawkeye Pender Shop, Main Street Tire, Prairie Ridge, Mediapolis Savings Bank, Klein's True Value, Myers Construction, Schrock's Lumber, USG, Great River Medical Center, Rhodes, Morning Sun Farm Implement, Beckman TV and Appliance in Burlington, Cafe Old World, MTC Technologies, Ertz Carpet, and the Mepo Booster Club. Well, we're halfway through a little more than halfway through halftime, I guess. I didn't look out far enough, but I'm enjoying this evening. A little muggy, but I'll tell you what, the crowd is sticking around. Looks like they're doing well. We got a whole bunch lining on the west side. That seems to be the favorite place for most everyone to hang out if they're not in the bleachers, is down around the west ring down there. I remember that back when I used to play. When we got down to this end zone, it was like, hey, you know, got to show off in front of everybody because that's where they're standing. So it was always fun to come down here. All the kids tend to play down there under the scoreboard on the east side, so it was never as much fun. But I'll tell you what, a big thank you to all the supporters here on behalf of the Mediapolis Bulldogs and the Dogcast. It's great to see everybody out and about on this wonderful night. And speaking of which, here come your dogs. They're coming back on the field from the western end zone.
Well, just a quick update on that weather, Lee. Jeff Campbell tells us that the rain seems to be in a holding pattern just south of Burlington. So not only is it raining on Keokuk down there, it's raining touchdowns on them up here as well.
That's right.
But you know, I know we've got several folks from Keokuk that are tuned in tonight, and we appreciate you listening to us, and I wish we had a little better outcome for you, but they got their hands full tonight against a very fine #1 rated in the state 2A Mediapolis Bulldog team. So there's nothing to be ashamed of here, and they show flashes of potential with Vandenberg and a couple of their fine receivers, and Dan Williams, and #5 looks like the kind of kid that could break for the big play just at any time. They got good hands, so I think there's lots to look forward to if you're a Keokuk Chief. Get this one behind you. Sometimes things just don't go well, and you've got to move on and put those games behind you. But that's not the case for the Bulldogs tonight. This might be just about as good as they can play, but of course I'll bet at the end of the night Coach finds something.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. You don't want to rest on your laurels. You want to come back and find something, because no one plays the perfect game. Jesse Ertz is having a phenomenal night, as Ken Harshbarger threw the stats out there. I mean, that's why he's Division I. But there's always something you need to pick up on. There's something, whether it's the kicking game or the pass coverage. Although they've done a great job, you've got to find something to keep their feet on the ground. But at the same time, you want them, as Casey Kasem said, reaching for the stars. So, you got to keep them understanding that while you're #1, that target on your back is great. It keeps you motivated, but don't let it become a target so big that it clouds your vision of where you want to go. So I know he's going to find something just to keep him grounded.
Well, Lee, you want me to give you the good news and the bad news?
I don't know. I'll start with the bad news first.
The bad news is there's probably not a kid out there in cyberspace who has any idea who Casey Kasem is.
Boy, I showed my age again, didn't I?
But well, maybe it's a bad news. The even worse news is I know well who you're talking about. So.
Well, I'm just a whole wealth of knowledge, Bill. However useless it may be.
Lee, you graduated from here in what, 1986?
86, yes. And it surprised everybody, including my family, that I was able to accomplish that.
Why don't you share for us some of the athletes that you played with your senior year that made up what I remember as being an awfully good Bulldog football team.
One of the biggest ones that probably from my era was Tom Van Tiger, who obviously went on to play baseball and stuff. From years ahead of me, there was Joe Fedoris and Mike Kuntz, I think, went on to Central or I can't remember. I hate to throw names out there when I'm not sure.
Joe Fedoris went to Co. Had a good
career. Thank you. That's right. So, there was a lot. I played with John Whitty, Edmund Arnold, a wonderful, you talk about a guy literally would knock your helmet off, and I can attest to that because he did that in a Highland game one time. He hit me and the kid so hard, when the kid got up, Edmund's face mask was half ripped off, and the poor kid was walking around in circles trying to find rubber duckies in a kiddie pool. Let me tell you what.
Well, you had some great athletes back then, and of course you had some success. I think you guys made the state that year, didn't you?
No, we made it. Well, quarterfinals. Yeah, we got knocked out by Cedar Rapids LaSalle in what was notoriously known as the Mud Bowl.
The Mud Bowl, the famous Mud Bowl.
So looks like we're getting ready to start again.
Looks like Chase Miller's going to be handling the kickoff duties as the.
He's been doing a pretty good job, really.
Well, he's gotten a whole lot of practice, that's for sure. Every time you score, you kick off, and Bulldogs have scored plenty. They got 42 points up on the board to show to it, and if my math is correct, that means they've scored at least 7 times.
Your math is better than mine. I couldn't even think that fast. I'll tell you, the one thing we want to look out for right now, Bill, is on a cool-off like this is make sure nobody gets injured right here, because getting warmed back up and into things –
well, it's warm up here in the booth, but you can tell it's a little bit cooler outside. And there's the kickoff to start
nice.
The second half. It's going to be handled down there at about the 15-yard line. Keokuk finds a little daylight up the room, and he runs into a pile of Bulldogs right at about the Chiefs' own 29, 30. It's called the 30-yard line.
I'll tell you what, you can't complain about their coverage on kickoffs. Like you said, they've had a lot of practice at it, but they do an excellent job swarming to the ball.
Well, when the Bulldogs got that early lead, you thought 2 ways that the Chiefs could get back in this thing. One would be them quick strike passes, but the other was a special teams breakdown. The Bulldogs have
They haven't allowed him that.
relinquished neither. So here we go to start the second half. 1st and 10. Chiefs from their own 30-yard line. Vandenberg this time he gives off to that big fullback who has not had much success tonight, and he only runs it ahead for about maybe a yard. Maybe they'll give him 2 if they're generous.
Yep, they did an excellent job with him. Again, they kept him right there. Trevor Roth for Keokuk. They hand it to him, but Mediapolis will not bend or break right now for the running game.
Man, we haven't talked about much tonight, and he's in there just on every play. That's number 85. I believe that's a young Drain, and just a relentless football player. Vandenberg, this time he's got a man open on the right side, and he does not look the ball into his hands. I think he was headed downfield before he caught that one.
Number 85, Adam Drain.
Adam Drain, yeah, just a good wrestler here in Mediapolis. Uses his hands well. Great, gets excellent separation off the offensive lineman, and you're not going to pin that man down. He's just too agile. He probably gives up a good 40, 50 pounds.
I was going to say, he's not that big, but like you said, being able to use his hands and his weight and keep his balance really makes him a good defensive lineman, especially being nose tackle.
3rd and a long 8. Vandenberg rolls right. He's got a man out there, and he completes it as they run it out of bounds up to about the 42-yard line.
Now, this is kind of what we expected from Keokuk all along. This shows that they're coming out and kind of getting a little bit of a cadence going, getting some movement going, getting some timing right. So we're wondering if maybe Mediapolis is coming out a little bit flat. So they need to really kind of, come up there and put a punch right in the forehead of Keokuk and said, okay, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore.
Well, Vandenberg threw 34 times last week, and I've got to believe down 42-0. He's going to break that record pretty easy here tonight. Vandenberg gets another opportunity, drops straight back as they set up the screen, and good coverage for the Bulldogs is Adam Drain.
Adam Drain, we just talked about him. Again, shucked his blocker and did an excellent job.
Yeah, I've got to pay more attention to that young man up here. They talk about how good he is at keeping his arms extended and just not letting that offensive lineman lock into him. And as a defender, that's what you need. And as a defensive lineman, and right there he shucked his man. Great play for no gain on that screen pass where the Chiefs
read it well.
Read it perfectly, and the Chiefs will be facing 2nd and 10 from their own 41-yard line. Vandenberg, 1 right, 2 left. Play action, drops back for the pass.
Wow!
And he runs right into the waiting arms of
number 21, Dalton Scott, man. He come off that end, and he was right there. He came around there and just, wow, he was all over Vandenberg. From the left side, just came in practically untouched. He shucked his guy, and there he was. Excellent job by Dalton. Nope. Okay, I thought we had an official's timeout, but we don't. Sorry about that. Here comes Keokuk to the line.
Facing third and a mile, Coach.
Yep, and it looks like they're bringing number 56 up to the line. Blake Beckman up. Yep.
Pressure up the middle. Vandenberg's got the corner, and he's going to a lot of scrambling around, and I think he's
down at the 40, I think.
Down the 40 where he loses
41, perhaps.
Well, James Vandenberg, if you're out there listening, you've been proud of your younger brother right then. There was a tremendous amount of pressure up the middle. He did a nice job of avoiding it and did a good job just getting back to the line of scrimmage where he was wrapped up by a host of waiting Bulldogs, and that's going to force the Chiefs to punt. They'll be standing back at about their own 26, 27-yard line, facing 4th and 10 here in the second half. 7:50 left and trailing 42-0. There's a snap. It's a good one. There's pressure up the middle.
Oh!
Just about blocked by Blake.
A lot of pressure up there. I mean, he comes shooting through, just about got a hand on it. Good job of pressure in the punter.
I think that was Blake Beckman, as he gets a lot of high fives coming off the field there. And
I'm not sure he didn't get a finger or two on that. That punt was a little squirrely.
And the ref gave the tip sign. So
good job, Blake.
Good job getting pressure up the middle, and that's going to set up some really good field position for the Bulldogs, who do start Jesse Hurst to start the second half. He'll be lined up in that shotgun again. He's got Dalton Scott lined up right, 1 man deep left, 2 right, 1 tight end. This time he takes a snap, hands off to Dalton Scott, who's got a little bit of running room this time, and plows ahead out to about the, let's give it the 44 44-yard line where he picks up.
Dalton Scott with the carry back.
Good to see him start now with a run and play. Good to see that they're not relying completely on Jesse.
That's the kind of run you want to see as Dalton Scott plowed ahead and picked up a good solid 6 yards.
Exactly.
Second and 4, and you know that really opens up things and keeps the defense off balance because it's going to allow Bulldogs to
either run or pass.
Either one.
It opens up the playbook perfectly for him.
They do hand off to Dalton Scott. This time he tries the left side. And good pursuit by the Chiefs as they bring him down from behind right again at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Tackle for the Chiefs.
Looked like Zach Wilson for Keokuk got right there, and he did a good job. He read the play well, got the penetration. So Keokuk trying to show some life here still. I mean, they're trying to get in there.
Bulldogs' right guard was a pulling guard on that play, but the defender just read that pulling guard perfectly and followed him to the play and caught up from behind and took Dalton Scott out for no gain. So 3rd and 4, Jesse faces as he's back in the shotgun. 2 right, 2 left, single setback. Got some pressure, he rolls out left. This time he's going to tuck it in, and he's got some daylight, and he put his shoulder down. Had the first down, put his shoulder down, and I mean, we've got a Keokuk Chief who was down on the sidelines.
Yes, indeed.
Jesse ran for the first down up to about midfield, and Coach, that's not something you see out of a running back very often.
Not a quarterback. I mean, you just don't see him lay down and lay a shoulder into a guy like that. I mean, you're talking that's fullback property there, you know, laying a guy out counting cuckoo birds, and you just don't see a quarterback doing that very often. And that just shows, you know, what a complete player he is. But you know, laying that shoulder in is as much protecting himself as it is trying to get extra yards, because if you don't, you give the defender an opportunity to hurt you. So by having him put a shoulder in it, it isn't aggression so much as a good defensive play by Jesse. Again, very cerebral.
Well, we hope the young man's all right as he's laying sprawled out right at about midfield. On the Keokuk sidelines, of course, he's got the coaches and trainers there attending to him, and kind of a quiet hush on the field here. I hope the young man's all right. I think maybe he's just seeing.
Maybe he just got his wind knocked out. Let's hope. Yeah, there we go. He's getting up now.
I think it was, and it tried to get the number on there, and I think it was
number 5, Darian Sanders, wasn't it?
Yeah, Darian Sanders, the corner. He probably plays cornerback, I think, over there. And well, Jesse put a pretty good lick on him and picked up the first down in the process, and I think he's just trying to.
He's gathering all his marbles back into his bag is what he's trying to do right now.
Hey, nice gesture there. He gives a thumbs up, but he's not feeling too good.
No, you know, and that happens occasionally when you get hit like that, you know. So.
Well, we've got 5:27 left in the third quarter. Bulldogs still. I almost said nursing a 42-0 lead, but that just didn't quite seem right. So
no,
Bulldogs
definitely still showing that they are in charge. That's for sure, no doubt about that.
Bulldogs enjoying a comfortable 42-0 lead, and they'll line right up at the mid stripe. 2 left, 1 right, lone setback. Dalton Scott.
Keokuk showing blitz. They do come.
Here they come, and he's going deep. He's got, just through under pressure, through just a little bit behind Seth Beats, who was streaking down the left sidelines at about the 20.
He had his defender beat. He turned him around, but
Jesse just did not quite have enough time to get his feet set, and that's what that pressure will do to you.
Exactly. The Keokuk guy came through practically untouched. I mean, they showed blitz on the left side linebacker, and the right side came. So I think they did get a chance to fool the offensive lineman a little bit, and that was a good play by Keokuk, and it just shows what pressure can do to a quarterback.
That's the key to a good defense. 2nd and 10 at midfield. Jesse looks over, and this time he's going to pitch right to Dalton Scott, looking for a little running room. He's got some, and he spins and fights ahead up to about the 41-yard line of the Keokuk Chiefs.
That was a good run.
That was a run of about 9 yards, and that's what you wanted to see.
He did a great job slicing through there. There was a couple of good blocks. He read everything correctly, and then right at the point of contact, he made a nice spin move that allowed him to get a couple more yards. So an excellent job.
I love the way that young man read his blocks, and then he picked his moment to show that little burst of speed and shot through there and picked up 9. They'll bring up 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs.
Speed that was also always elusive for me.
Jordan Wagenbach lined up right. He's going to hand a hit right ahead again to Dalton Scott, who's fighting for that first down. I think with that line surge, he's got it.
Excellent job.
They're going to have to measure this one, I think, is depending on have to see which linesman gets the spot here. But it looked to me like he rolled ahead to about the 39-yard line.
Looks like they're going to mark it. Oh, they're coming back a little bit.
Not going to get the greatest
No.
spot in the world. They're going to mark it right on the 40, but they'd give him the first down signal, and
There we go.
Bulldogs are on the move.
I'll tell you what, that was an excellent surge by the entire offensive line and the running back. That was just one big pile movement. That was a good job to get that first down.
Well, until you watch tape, it's just so hard to appreciate what that what those big hogs up front do. And we'll try to. Well, the Bulldogs go to just about a complete spread this time. They got 2 left, 2 right, but they got Drew Mastner in at tight end. Jesse all alone in the background. They're in the backfield. And this time they do a little handoff to Drew Buster. He's got lots of room. He's down the 20, 15, runs it all the way down. Well, 25 runs all the way down about the 22-yard line. Nice little crossing pattern there, or cross-buck handoff there as Drew Scott lined up in the right slot, just came across, took the handoff, and took it around the left end for a nice gain. He showed some wheels there, didn't he?
Showed some excellent wheels. That play was excellently played. Beautiful job. He just turned on the afterburners and went around the corner.
You know, that's a play I don't think we've seen yet tonight, and I believe Keokuk hadn't seen it.
I don't think they were expecting it, that's for sure.
Hadn't seen it in the playbook either. Well, I'd like to see what this Drew Mastner kid can do. He looks like a.
Now we got two running backs back there now.
2 in the backfield, 1 left. They pitch out to Dalton Scott. They're going to get. He finds trying to find a little room. He gets around the right side, but nice job of Keokuk stringing that out. Brought down by number 23 for the Keokuk Chiefs, and he read that one right, strung it out, did a nice job.
Trevor Roth, he read that right. He did a good tackle on him. Good solid football play in there.
It's going to bring up 2nd and a long 10 for the Bulldogs at about their own, down at the Chiefs' 23-yard line.
Looks like we got Mike Ruby in there on the right side. I've been watching him a little bit. We might be getting some other players in there.
Well, we got a new quarterback here. We got, I think it's we got a handoff. Number
Drew
18.
Foster.
Well, hey, here's a name you'll remember. That was Miles Erickson's.
Oh, really?
Miles Erickson's son there, number 18, and they're getting some fresh look in there.
There's definitely a name from the past.
We'll have 3rd and 6, ball on the 20.
Well, Drew Foster's come in to take over quarterback duties for.
Junior, 6 foot, 160 pounds.
Nice job running the offense there as young Erickson took the counter play and ran ahead for, well, he got about 4 yards out of the play.
Cole Erickson.
Foster hands off.
There goes that play again.
Play to Drew Buster, and he runs that thing all the way down to about the 8-yard line, and I like the looks of that play. I think that maybe they found a little bit of a weak spot in that Keokuk defense, and they've gone to that twice now in this series, and both time for some big gains.
They're starting to come out with a little bit more of the running game, and which is great for taking time off the clock. That's what they got to do. So with a lead like this, run it at them. They're having great success. They're down the field, so.
Yeah, it looks like the Bulldogs, well, I'm not sure if it's Keokuk or the Bulldogs. Somebody called timeout, but the Bulldogs are going to be looking at 1st and goal from the Chiefs' 8-yard line as they just let the 3rd quarter run out. I guess there was no timeout, but that's your score at the end of 3. Bulldogs 42, Keokuk nothing, and the Bulldogs have started to substitute liberally.
Definitely. A little note from our Mepo boosters. Keep the evening of Saturday, November 24th open on your calendar. The boosters will be holding an alumni basketball games, as it is an event you won't want to miss. The plan is to have games for traditional boys and girls 5-on-5, and of course girls 6-on-6. It wouldn't be Mediapolis alumni basketball without a game of girls 6-on-6. We're hoping for a lot of participation so multiple games can be held. So spread the word to all of your former teammates and get signed up.
Keep it in good shape, and the ambulance crew for being here on the field tonight. Thanks, everybody.
We'd like to run down our list of sponsors for the Dogcast: the Brewer Agency, CMA Services, Wright Electric, Deb Massiner Real Estate, SG Construction, Hawkeye Pender Shop, Main Street Tire, Prairie Ridge, Mediapolis Savings Bank, Klein's True Value, Myers Construction, Schrock's, USG, Great River Medical Center, Rhodes, Morning Sun Farm Implement, Beckman TV and Appliance in Burlington, Cafe Old World.
Well, the Bulldogs are facing first and goal from the 8. Drew Foster hands off to Cole Erickson, bounces ahead, and boy, he showed some toughness there as he plows it down to about the 5-yard line.
Good job fighting there. That was a good job.
I'm sure many of you recognize the name Erickson. His dad was Miles, the first, I think, state champion ever. And
if I remember correctly, I thought so for Mediapolis, and Dan Cummings.
Looks like we got second and goal from the 5.
And he showed a lot of Miles' tenacity there. I'll tell you what, bouncing around there.
Well, I had the joy of coaching this young man, Cole, back in JFL, or what they call a YSF over here in Iowa, and just a tremendous amount of toughness. There was drives you just handed off to the young man and said, get me some yards. They're going to let him have it again. He tries to pick a hole, but they're waiting for him this time, but he gets it ahead to about the 3-yard line.
Carries the ball, tackled by 3 or 4.
Again, it looks like Mediapolis is just content to start running the clock out and give some of these other players a chance to get some playing time.
Boy, and you can bet some of these young men just taste that end zone as the Bulldogs are, well, they got to about the 4. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 4, and let's see if they can punch this in, Coach.
Yes, definitely. I mean, when you get down here, nothing gives you greater satisfaction than getting into that end zone. There's no doubt about it. It's a team effort. Everybody wins. It would be great to punch it in.
Well, and I think it's wholesale substitution. I'm not sure there's a starter in there on that squad right now. They pitch out right to Erickson. He's trying to get the corner. He cuts it inside, and he takes it in for the touchdown.
Did he get it? I couldn't see around the corner.
Boy, there was a little glimpse of the future for you right there.
There you go. That was great.
Showed great speed, good cuts, good feet. Took it off to the right side for 4 yards out. Found a little seam and
squared his shoulders up, kept his legs churning like he was making butter, and it paid off for him. He got in the end zone. Excellent job. That's got to feel good for him to be in a varsity game and do that.
That young man is excited. And Elijah Wolf will try the extra point, and I think he's good on it again as he nails it right down Grand Central. 49-0 Bulldogs with 10:28 left in the 4th quarter.
I tell you what, coming up here tonight, Bill, I did not think I'd see this. I really didn't. I thought it was going to be a lot tougher than that. So big kudos goes out to this orange and black team. I mean, they've showed themselves to be worthy of being ranked number 1 as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think all the pollsters are going to look at this score tonight and wonder if they've got them ranked high enough at number 1.
Yeah, can you go any higher? Can we do that? Those poor cheerleaders are getting their workout. You're right.
I tell you, they'd be getting chewed out by old Bill Wilson right now, my old PE teacher. They are not going all the way down to the ground on their push-ups. They're kind of cheating it there a little bit. But
who can really fault them at this time?
When you've got 49 points on the board, that's a lot of push-ups.
That's been a lot of push-ups. Like I said, they'll probably have bigger guns than me by the time they get done with the season, hopefully.
Well, they do a nice job, and we're glad to have these young athletes come out here and cheer on the crowd like they do.
And a lot of support from the crowd that you can hear there for the cheerleaders, too. Excellent to hear.
Well, Chase Miller is going to be back handling the kickoff duties. He approaches the ball at the 40 and gets one not quite so deep this time. It's going to be fielded about the 15-yard line. Bring a nice little burst of speed. He brings it up to the 30-yard line. And I'll tell you, I'm proud of this special teams. They are closing, and they are closing fast.
They do a really good job corralling the ball, not letting it get out. They just get down there and get it smothered, literally. And there was a nice little whack in there. I didn't know if I didn't get a chance to see the number, but I'll tell you what, that running guy, listen to me, he really felt that one.
Lee, I'm going to name off some numbers here. You see if you got. I know you got Jacob Everhart in here. You got big number 60. On the defensive line for the Bulldogs.
Big number 60, that is Mr. Drew Wagner.
There's a little slant pattern completed up to the 40-yard line by Vandenberg and covered up by number 10 in for the Bulldogs.
for
Playing deep corner, deep safety.
9-yard gain on the pass.
Who's number 10 there, Lee?
Number 10, that would be John Wishmeyer,
John Wishmeyer.
a senior, 5'10", 160 pounds.
Number 75's in there at nose.
Number 75 is John Trafton, a junior.
65 over there on right defensive end.
Number 65 is Patrick Reihard, a senior.
There's another handoff to that big fullback, and he's met right there by number 89, who's in there playing linebacker for the Bulldogs.
Elijah Wolf, number 89, a junior.
Young man's been doing the PAT duties. Number 43 is in here at safety.
Number 43 is Christian Bark.
Christian Bark, young man I coached. Let's see who's across the far side. Well, Cole Erickson's in there. He's playing.
Jacob Eberhard at number 40.
Well, Vandenberg standing back his own 40. This time he looks over the left side. He sees a man open over there, and he completes it up to about the Bulldog, up to the Bulldog 42-yard line. So they're making a little more proficiency against these young substitutes, but this is great experience for them. Number 75 is also in there on the defensive line for the Bulldogs.
Number 75 is John Trafton.
Yeah, I think we got him. Here comes number 44.
Number 44 is Walker Hostetter.
And replace Elijah Wolf. Number 11, I think that's a Pogge Miller back there.
That is Michael Poggemiller.
Pitch out right, lots of room there. Pogge Miller's going to get his opportunity. Number 23 is going to run over a couple of these young Bulldogs and take it in for the touchdown.
Number 23 is Trevor Roth. He's been playing the entire game.
You know, you got to think about what you just saw there as the Chiefs put the ball in the end zone for the first time tonight. You had their number one guys in on offense here on a 3A school and just finally scored against.
Had to take it the full length. It wasn't a huge play that knocked him out. They gave him, but like you said, a 3A with their starters. It took them that to score.
Against the Bulldogs. Young men who will be the future of this team.
Definitely.
And the point after attempt is good, and for the first time tonight, in the fourth quarter with 7:57, Chiefs get on the board and trail 49-7.
I'll tell you what, one thing I want to give a shout out to, I got to say that the conditioning for this Bulldog team looks to have been great tonight. We didn't see any cramping issues. We didn't see anything. It just looked like they really settled themselves up. That they're all set and ready to go, that everything's looking really good. So kudos out there to the training staff.
Well, one of the things this coaching staff talked about, if you had a chance to catch them, talk to them a little bit off on the side, they did talk about how they were really pleased with the depth that they've been able to build in this team. They've legitimately got 5 or 6 guys that can play the wide receiver spot, and they're really confident and happy with. But one of the areas you just don't see much of 2A ball. They were really excited about the depth they've got on those offensive and defensive lines, and they're able to do some true platooning, which is something that you just don't see much at 2A. And for the teams that have got that depth and can platoon, they've got a real advantage. Well, there's the kickoff to start the fourth quarter. And it looks like it's going to be a touchback. First one of them we've seen yet tonight.
That was actually a pretty good kick from Keokuk. I mean, of course, we haven't seen too many of them.
Did a nice job of turning that ball over and got the roll. And so the Bulldogs will start at their own 20-yard line. And I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot of substitutes in here, and let's see if they can move the ball against this 3A defense.
Looks like we got number 76, Connor Smith, in there, a senior. And we've got number 7, Alex Brader, in there.
Alex Brader.
Number 59, that's Dalton Shadle. As they come into the line.
Christian Bark left, Alex Brader right. Drew Foster back in the shotgun. He's going to do a little play action pass. He's got Drew Master open out here in the left flats. Drew puts on a couple moves and runs the ball all the way up to about the Bulldogs' own 30. Well, they're going to take that up to about right about the 35-yard line. Nice catch, nice read by the young by the backup quarterback Foster, and this might be the second string in there, but.
They look good.
Drew Master's a first-team player, and he showed it right there.
I'll tell you what, that offensive line is still going against the meat of the Keokuk defensive line, so they're doing a good job.
There's a play action quarterback keeper all the way. It's not going to go for much, and didn't get the push up front that they'd like to have seen there. And
Foster keeps the
wrestled,
ball, tackled
Foster
by a home
wrestled
run,
down
led
after a
by
gain of
Groff.
about 1.
Baxter, they were all in there on
He takes
that
the ball up
tackle.
about the Bulldogs'
Gain of
36.
one.
Looks like we've got Colton French in there now, too, a senior, 5'8", 150 pounds.
Oh, this is great. I never would have expected in the third quarter that the Bulldogs would be able to substitute liberally and get these young men some well-deserved experience.
Definitely. Great to see them out there, and I know they're excited to be out there, too. It's a wonderful feeling.
There's a pitch out right to Cole Erickson. He's got some room. He makes a nice cut. He's going to shed some tacklers, and I think he picks up the first down for the Bulldogs. He runs it all the way out to the 45-yard line.
Good job there. Good job.
Welcome to the future there, Lee.
Really made some nice cuts, turned on the afterburners, and got out there. If it hadn't have been for that collar tackle, yeah, he could have broke it. I mean, it was just a nice back jersey grab that brought him down.
Well, they don't get the best spot in the world. They're going to call it third and about a foot here at the Bulldogs at their own 45-yard line. I've just got a feeling that Cole Erickson's about to get the football again.
Little smash mouth.
Christian Barker.
Uh-oh.
Got a timeout here by Coach Borison. He saw something.
Timeout Bulldogs.
He's young substitute. He just didn't quite like.
Good teaching time for the coach right now. You know, take the time out, get them over here, get them set up correctly so that they have a chance to succeed. If you just let them play the game out and you know you didn't see something, you're kind of letting them down. So that's a great coaching tactic right there, is to make sure that they got a chance to really do this right.
Well, Lee, that's a happy coaching staff down there. I'm watching a few of the assistants, and they're shaking each other's hands and congratulating each other.
They should. They've done a great job, obviously.
Tremendous effort. They've got to be enjoying every bit of this. Well, as we look on the schedule, Lee, who does Mediapolis have coming up next? And I got to tell you, from my perspective, I don't feel too envious of them.
No, I don't either. It looks like next week we're going to be at Wapello on the 9/7 of 2012. We'll head up to Wapello for an away game.
Well, that's a great series to get that revived. You know, it was just a great rivalry for years, and then we didn't play them. And well, this time the Dogs go under center, and
looks like they're getting a nice push up front.
I think they did, and if I look at that linesman across there, he's going to give him a spot, and he already signals the first down.
Good job. There was a good push up through the middle there, and there's still some pretty big guys that they have substituted, it looks like, on the Keokuk side, but still. You know, you're talking a 3A team. Their guys have got some size yet too. So,
well, Lee, I'm going to test your pronunciation skills here. if you can pronounce who number 29 is, I'll just buy you a soda on the way. I know who the young man is, so that'd be cheating. But there's a handoff, play action. He's got Drew Massner open here in a little down and out pattern. But
Adrian Silva. Number 69?
Number 69. Who do you got there?
Adrian Silva. You're talking for the Bulldogs, right?
For the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Adrian Silva, junior, 5'8", 250.
I thought it was Villaria, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, I saw that name earlier, and I figured you'd come after me with that one. I really did.
Try and trip you up on that. Well, the Bulldogs, after that incomplete pass, we faced the second 10. There's a pitch out right to Cole Erickson. He's got another little nice burst as he sheds a few tackles. Goes down.
Nice spin move, though. Really good spin move. Kept his feet churning, trying to head upfield, but there was a good tackle there at the end.
Oh, we have a little flag
well,
on the play.
Uh-oh.
Some of you old Cyclones out there, if you were watching young Cole Erickson here, you see shades of Darren Davis. That's last spin move.
6 to go.
Well, we've got a whole host of new Bulldogs that come in again here as we're looking at about
I'm trying to look at some numbers.
3rd and 6. Let's see if they go to the air. Just Foster rolls out left. He's got a man open down the middle. Oh!
Wow.
Oh, that was close.
That was on a frozen rope right to number 44. Walker Hostetter took a shot that took his helmet off. And what a shot. Great job getting right back up. Popped up like a little pop-up toy. I mean, he had a smile on his face, but he took a shot.
That defender was closing and had the perfect timing on that. Took a hit just as he was gathering in the football. And I tell you, if he'd had just a ounce more speed on that football, that would have been a beautiful completion.
I'll tell you what, though, that was a good-looking pass. You got to hand it to him. It was just good timing on the defense.
Running to his left, squared his shoulders, got his feet under him, and threw a nice pass downfield about 15 yards. Well, that'll bring up fourth and about 6 for the Bulldogs. They're going to go for it. Back to pass. Foster finds a little daylight. I think he's got the – Coach.
Sorry, I had someone coming up behind me. I didn't get to see the finish on that one.
Well, Foster ran the ball out to about the 48-yard line of Keokuk. He tried to cut it back in. I think if he would have kept it outside, the first down was his. But
sometimes you don't see all the avenues. So.
Pretty easy to see it from up here and not quite as easy to see it down there. But
exactly.
Well, here comes a whole lot of the young men. Number 23 is going to come in at the corner position. I'm not sure that's a number we've seen tonight.
Number 83?
23.
Excuse me. That would be Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Senior, 5'11", 160 pounds.
Got to feel pretty good, though, with Drew Massner in there manning the linebacker spot. Vandenberg is still playing quarterback. This time he sees that Dan Wilson open on a cry, and he's going to cut it inside and gets it all the way down to about the 10-yard line where he's brought down by Wishmeyer. Well, I tell you, the first team makes it look pretty easy against these youngsters, but
well, when you still got Vandenberg in there in the fourth quarter, but they are playing hard.
Well, they're playing for a little respect here, and you can't blame them for wanting to put at least another score on that board here tonight.
You've still got Roth out there for Keokuk. You've got Vandenberg out there. They don't want to be the team that gets beat that bad.
Vandenberg back in the shotgun, and he's just going to hand off to the big fullback who looks like he's got all kinds of room on the left side. He's just going to waltz it in.
That's the Trevor Roth that scored earlier.
I don't think the Bulldogs have anyone in there that probably is within 50 pounds of the Roth. He's just a big fullback. He runs with a nice head of steam, and he makes it look easy against these.
He looks like a bulldozer on speed. I mean, he just looks like he's going to go through and knock down anything that gets in his way. So that's really a testament to the first-team defense keeping him in check the way they did.
And they put that ball in there with 35 seconds left in the game. The PAT is good. And I got to believe that's going to be the final score, Lee. It's 49-14 with 35 seconds left. And there's a lot of happy Bulldogs.
Oh, definitely. To come in here. Yeah. I mean, to come in, to have Keokuk come in here in your own house and put that stamp on them that just says, it wasn't that they just won. They beat them, and you really got to put it out there like that because even though Keokuk made some of their own missteps, they had a guy ejected. They've had some penalties. They had some turnovers, definitely, that bounced Mediapolis' way. You know what? Mediapolis still went out there and put that stamp on them that just says, we beat you. We beat a 3A team. So,
and I think the Bulldogs had a lot of say in those turnovers. They forced those turnovers. They were not unforced errors. So just a fine effort by the Bulldogs here tonight.
And I think that's where Mediapolis, again, and I've said it earlier in the game, got into their heads too. Not only physically took it to them, but just made them realize we're number one for a reason right from the get-go.
Kickoff's going to be fielded back there by Seth Beats as he's going to bring the ball straight up the middle and crunches it out to about the Bulldogs' 24-yard line. With 27 seconds left, clock still running. And I've got to believe that's going to be it. I think the Dogs will probably just take it a knee and as they take their time getting back on the field. And in fact, right now they're gathering at center field. They're just going to let the clock run down.
Yep.
10 seconds. Listen to that crowd.
Giving our Bulldogs a standing ovation, well-deserved.
That's the game. 49 Mediapolis, 14 the Chiefs.
And that's all she wrote, folks, 49-14. Yes, you heard right, as both teams head out to center field and give each other the congratulations. And I think Keokuk knows they just ran into a Bulldog here tonight. And
definitely. I mean, yes. You know, they came in here, I'm sure, with high hopes, but they're going to walk out knowing that they got beaten by a better team.
You know, last week when we went to Lone Tree, they were ranked second, I think, in Single A, and I expected to see a pretty good ball game, and it was just a complete thrashing. And no way did I expect to see that tonight against a very good 3A team. And, well, all the coaches are going out and congratulating him, Jesse Ertz, along with all his teammates.
Just put on a clinic tonight. I mean, I'm so excited to see him some more this year. I mean, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see him till tonight, but I've heard a lot about him, and I'll tell you what, he did not disappoint. So Kansas State, you hang on to him, buddy, because you guys are really in for a treat when he gets there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I just, you know, they've got to like everything they saw here tonight. I'm going to guess if there's one habit that at the Big 12 level, there's probably one habit they're going to have to impress upon Jesse, that when you're running downfield, you don't want that extra yard. You better go down because
he's more valuable standing upright than he is being carried out horizontal.
You're not going to let the young man take those kind of hits. But boy, I tell you, at this level, he was not going to be denied.
No.
And when he wanted that extra yard, he just took that extra yard.
But the thing that amazed me a lot was his ability to just evade the tackles. He just and when the offense did break down the offensive line, he was cerebral enough. He was mature enough. He was steady enough to take what the defense was giving him and take advantage of it.
Well, he's just got such excellent feet. He's got so many quicks, and he gets out in the open field. And
he's deceptively fast. Those long limbs, he covers a lot of ground, and he's deceptively. You think you've got the angle on him, and the next thing you know, he's past you. I noticed that a lot tonight, that the Chiefs just weren't taking that angle on him because I think they were surprised at exactly how fast on the field he was.
Well, that's for sure.
You got to give kudos to the entire offense, though, because I saw a number of excellent blocks against a obviously bigger defensive line. There was a couple of guys that were definitely outweighing our guys by a lot. So when you were able to lay them out like they did and give Jesse time, that was great to see. And then defensively, like you said, with number 68, Drain, or I think his number, I forget his number definitely, but his ability to shuck defenders like that. So Mediapolis does bring the entire package. So they are going to be very exciting to go see next week against Wapello, which in my days was one of our best rivals. We just didn't like the big W up north.
Well, I don't think anybody expected to see this tonight, but boy, how can you just say enough for, you go back to that first quarter, they set the tone early. You can't say enough about Jordan Wagenbach. I mean,
incredible.
One-on-one coverage down here was just way too much for the defender. He just went up and made the plays when the plays had to be made. They'd get pressure on Jesse, and he'd throw downfield to Jordan. Jordan would be there. You had a great catch there by Chase Miller where he got the yards after the catch, and just a fine effort by so many young men. And I would love to watch that film and watch the effort that was made by those three hogs up front, and then on the offensive line. Boy, just a beautiful all-around effort. And for those of you who are listening out there, we thank you again for joining us. We're going to take this opportunity to remind you again who the sponsors are in Mediapolis that make this all possible.
We'd love to thank all of those that support our Dogcast: Brewer Agency, CMA Services, Wright Electric, Deb Massner Real Estate, SG Construction, Hawkeye Pendershop, Main Street Tire, Prairie Ridge, Mediapolis Savings Bank, Klein's True Value, Myers Construction, Schrock's, U.S. Gypsum Company, Great River Medical Center, Rhodes, Morning Sun Farm Implement, Beckman TV and Appliance in Burlington, Cafe Old World, MTC Technologies, Ertz Carpet, and the Mepo Booster Club. Again, a big thank you to all of you that support the Dogcast and all of Mediapolis Athletics.